But now, as we will go through the starting lineups, first we'll start with Archbishop Ryan's team. So, Emily, take it away. So, who we got for these starters tonight for Archbishop Ryan?
For Archbishop Ryan, we have number 12 or number 7, Kylie Davis, number 13, Emily DeLucy, number 0, goalkeeper Emma Joyce, number 4, defensive back Grace Joyce, number 8, Kristen Montag, number 11, Luca Varello, number 27, Caitlin Brace, number 2, Rebecca Dalton, number 19, Carrie Gauntz, number 5, Chelsea Ritter, and number 28, Carly Walsh.
So, yeah, going through that Archbishop Ryan team, just looking at it, I mean, they have a bunch of good players where you got the two sisters in Emma Joyce, who is the goalkeeper of this team. And, I mean, she's going to have to step up tonight in a game where you're going up against a good high-powered offense team in Northwestern Lehigh, where they have a good amount of offensive talent. But then also you got Emily DeLucy, the one player who you said it was in the midfield, and she's good. And what else can you tell me about her?
She was all first team, and she is headed to Rider University. And my prediction is that I have not seen this Archbishop Ryan team yet, but my prediction is that she's going to dominate the midfield, and she's going to control the tempo of the game for them. Another point, Emma Joyce also made first team for goalie, and when we were talking to the coach, he said that she is both a leader on and off the field. And looking at her sister Grace Joyce, she is coming off an ACL injury, but she's the starting center back for her third year, so she also made second team. So this Archbishop Ryan has a good team.
Yes, as you mentioned, leadership is something that's very important on and off the field. But then also, as you said, Grace Joyce suffering that ACL injury. I mean, it's devastating when you're an athlete where, I mean, you're playing in the sport that you love, and then, I mean, a key injury like an ACL, I mean, that could set you back. Like, it sets back your career where you end up struggling and just try and relearn and try and be more cautious about what you do, especially considering how sensitive the ACL is and how devastating an injury it can be.
Totally. That's a big mental feat as well. You suffer that devastating injury, and you have to, rehab for close to 7-8 months just to get back on the field, and you always have that in the back of your head. But I feel the coach said they're confident and they're good defensively, so that must go through her.
All right, so now we will go through Northwestern Lehigh's varsity girls squad. As in goal, they got Naomi Glassberg as the sophomore. Will have to step up tonight in net to try and send her team to the next round. And then on defense, it includes Emily Bleschmidt as the defender junior, and it also includes a defense of Maggie Morrow as the senior. Definitely wants to try and play well in what could be her final game of the year. Then going through the rest of the defense, you got Bailey Scheifler, who's also a senior on this Northwestern Lehigh varsity squad. And then lastly on the defense is this Sarah Yakel on a junior, number 23. So a lot of these defenders, I mean, they're experienced, but obviously the two starters, I mean, they could be playing in their final game, so they got to step up on the defense. And then in the midfield, you get Sophia Motelis, as she's one of their top players for Northwestern Lehigh. And then going through the rest of the starting lineup, you got Alexa Bleem, who's the forward, and then along with Kayla Bardonner, who's a senior forward. So another good amount of seniors. And then Kylie Zentz, along with Olivia Motelis, who's in the midfield. And then Samantha Bardonner, who's at forward and is a sophomore. But there's a good amount of seniors on this Northwestern Lehigh team. So, I mean, one thing that we see tonight is that there's plenty of experience for some of these players, they already played in the state tournament in the last few years, Emily, so they know what it's like to go through this whole process of playing long distance in the game, but then also, I mean, this is their last chance to try and make a run at that state title.
Totally, and I'm reading some of my notes here, and it said that in the district championship game that they were actually down and found a way to come back and win and beat Pottsville 4-2, so I think that's something to note. that they have a mental toughness, and they're facing an Archbishop Ryan team that is extremely physical. So I'm curious to see the physicality of this match and which team can get out there mentally and just start on the attack.
And also, last year was a similar year. They went 22-3, and they ended up having 7 players graduate from that roster. So, I mean, in back-to-back years, Coach Bleem had to go through it last year where you lose a lot of your star players and seniors, and now it feels like it's a repeat process for them. But right now, this is the first round of the PIAA State Class 3A tournament. The winner advances to the quarterfinal round on Saturday to take on the District 1 champion. And right now, both of these teams are hoping to get going. We got about 1 minute to go here before the start of the game. If you haven't already, be sure to download the Penn Sports Radio app on iPhone and Android devices. Follow us on social media, and be sure to you could also check us out at pensportsradio.com to listen to the rest of these games. And then just remember, following this matchup, we will be have the varsity boys state playoff game for Northwestern Lehigh. Emily will be on the call with Andrew later in that later following coverage of Northwestern Lehigh and Archbishop Ryan. So now, as we hear the announcements of the starting lineup, let's just go through some of the keys of the game. So, Emily, looking at Archbishop Ryan, what do you think is going to be key for them to try and get a lead against this Northwestern Lehigh team?
Well, I think it's going to start through the attack. It's going to start through their midfield with Emily DeLucy, and I think she's really going to control the game. And I want to see Archbishop Ryan really get on the ball quick and spread the field out, move it from left to right, and see if they can get some quick passes over the top. That's something I want to see. And also this defensive 4-back looks like a strong defensive 4-back with Emma Joyce in goal leading them. So I'd be really curious to see if they can start from that defense and work their way up to the attack.
Yes, and for Northwestern Lehigh, looking at them, I mean, they got a lot of experience, and I think one thing for them to control this game, I mean, one thing that I've seen throughout different high school soccer games is you got to try and control the tempo. And I mean, the one thing is that, I mean, you're excited out there. You got to try and make the smart passes, because from what I've seen as other times, I mean, it's just at the high school level, it's just the small, simple mistakes. I mean, the one thing that you always try to do is that you receive a pass, and then, I mean, the ball-eye coordination, and what happens is that you end up you could make a good pass once, but then you end up making a terrible pass the second time, which really can be a costly turnover in soccer at any time, and especially at this level where, I mean, the offensive levels are just outstanding by both sides.
I totally agree. I think that this is going to be an offensive feat of type of game, but the other thing to note is that Northwestern Lehigh has a sophomore starting in goal, so she's going to be someone I keep my eye on. I don't know if this is her first time in goal in a state championship game, but it's definitely something as a tall task to ask for a sophomore.
No, yeah, I mean, one thing that I've seen is that there's have been a range of different starting goalkeepers where, I mean, if you're a freshman, I mean, if you have a strong defense, I mean, usually those goalkeepers don't get tested out throughout the year, where it's like, I mean, your defense is your stronghold, is what's helping you right now. But then going into this game, you'll start feeling the pressure, and, I mean, that can mess with the goalkeeper's mentality, and then it can really cause the game to fall away real quick. But then for Archbishop Ryan, I mean, looking at last year, they're coming off of a key loss where they had a league MVP in Gianna Monaco, who was a star player, and then they also had a star player in Sarah Zischulski, who was a second-team defender, and Kate Geiger, who's a third-team defender. So, I mean, Archbishop Ryan, I mean, they have a few good players returning, but they certainly lost a few key players from last year. And looking at that, Emily, what could that do to a momentum going into the season?
Well, I definitely think that's something that's in the back of their minds, but also this seems like a team that they only lost 3 key players, so it seems that core group that played last year in the state semifinals most of them came back. So I feel like they have a good cohesive unit that they've, over the season, learned how to fill that gap, especially the league MVP, Gianna Monaco, excuse me. So I definitely think that they have a shot, and they know each other well. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. But looking at Northwestern Lehigh, they defeated Southern Lehigh 3-0 in the Colonial League Championship. Now, what is that to defeat your arch rival in the Colonial League Championship, and now you're playing in the first round of states?
No, it certainly sits in the back of your mind to, lose to a state rival or lose to your rival in a game like that. It really messes with momentum and can really be a huge loss during the season. But that's one thing that's going to change tonight. So right now we are going to go as we'll take a quick commercial timeout as they will be playing the national anthem, but stay tuned. We'll be right back after this. You're listening to coverage of Northwestern Lehigh soccer here on Penn Sports Radio.
By joining both teams with the playing of our national.
Let HTSS help you get the job that'll get you going in the right direction. HTSS at Emmaus is your staffing solution, and right now they're hiring for customer service call center reps, IT, engineers, and data entry, as well as sales and marketing, administrative office staff, accounting, financing, logistics, and distribution. Get started down the path to employment with HTSS. To set up an appointment, call 610-432-4161 or apply online at htss-inc.com. That's htss-inc.com. With an award-winning 4.5-star daily fee course nestled in the foothills of the Blue Mountains, Old Homestead Golf Club is where history and tradition are a part of everyday life. Old Homestead Golf Club is one of the first courses in the Lehigh Valley to offer state-of-the-art GPS capabilities on their championship 18-hole course. Old Homestead's award-winning practice facility includes a driving range with 4 target greens and 3 hazards and a USGA spec putting green. Old Homestead Golf Club is located on Route 309 in New Tripoli. For more information, go to oldhomesteadgolfclub.com.
And welcome back here to coverage of Northwestern Lehigh High School varsity girls soccer here on Penn Sports Radio. Noah Pegler alongside Emily Janey as we are just moments away from starting this game in the state quarterfinal, but in a state playoff matchup between Northwestern Lehigh and Archbishop Ryan. And Emily, one thing we didn't get to mention much about Archbishop Ryan is that they are a physical team, and they are going to be, and they're strong defensively. But then, just like playing soccer, playing against a physical team, what kind of mindset do you think that's going to play a factor against Northwestern, knowing that you're playing a physical team?
Well, I think they have to also come in as a physical team, and if they know their opponent's going to be physical, they have to be just as physical. But also know that even though Archbishop Ryan is going to be physical, that maybe they can beat them on the speed, spread the ball out. But it's definitely something to keep in the back of your mind, and it's definitely something to watch out for. As we know, yellow and red cards come into play, and so it'll be definitely interesting to see which team can come out in the first 15 minutes and really dominate possession.
Yeah, and then one thing is that in soccer, you like a physical team. You're going to try and shove off your opposing player off the ball. You're going to be seeing a lot of more high elbows during the game. You may see more pushing and shoving as the night goes on. And then one thing to keep in mind is how long is the ref going to just allow it? Because eventually, we know it's a playoff game. It's going to be a physical game, but then there comes a point where the ref's got to just step in and say you're going to see probably some yellow cards later if the physicality just gets out of hand.
Exactly. And looking at the teams right now, Archbishop Ryan is in an all-white uniform with red letters, and Northwestern Lehigh is in all black with white and yellow numbers and letters.
All right, so the ball's been kicked off, and we are underway here at Northwestern Lehigh High School here on Penn Sports Radio. As Northwestern Lehigh just turned the ball over right around midfield, and it has right now they work at midfield. The defender for Archbishop Ryan will kick it upfield, but then it will be finally settled down. But now as Archbishop Ryan is on the attack, trying to find something going, but that is stolen away by Olivia Moda-Lees, the midfield junior, one of the star players for this Northwestern Lehigh Valley team. But now Northwestern Lehigh trying to get something going here, but it is turned over, and the defense is able to pick it up. But now as Archbishop Bryan will try and get something going, as they try to move upfield. It was Luca Varello, but now the ball being turned over once again to Northwestern Lehigh. But now, as we are seeing both teams just kicking it out from back of the defense, they keep turning the ball over. So far, some even play. Just trying to move quickly, but nothing just in the first few minutes. But now, as Archbishop Bryan try to kick upfield, but it will be picked up easily by the goalkeeper in Naomi Glassberg. Now Glassberg will kick it upfield, but is settled by Archbishop Bryan. But now it will be Modalise. Kicks it out to her teammate, but it is cleared away, but it will be a throw-in for Northwestern Lehigh. Northwestern Lehigh really coming off of a great year, 17-1-1, as they won the District 11 championship by beating Pottsville 4-2 in the championship, and they trailed twice. They trailed twice in that game, but now they want to try and set the tone early to try and make sure they can get the lead. But now, as more plays keep going around, Northwestern settles the ball right at midfield. Now as they try to kick it upfield, it was just far out of reach for Alexa Bleem, and it will be picked up easily by the goalkeeper in Emma Joyce. But now as it's cleared out by Emma Joyce, it is cleared out by the defense of Maggie Morrow, the defender who is a senior for Northwestern Lehigh. So a throw-in was cleared out. It's going to be a throw-in again for Archbishop Bryan. But as it's settled, another throw-in on the play, but now it'll be going to Northwestern Lehigh.
Yeah, it seems that both teams are coming out and they're trying to settle the ball down. Neither team can really, find their footing just quite yet. It seems that they're still trying to feel each other out to see, if they're Northwestern Lehigh is spreading the ball, or if they're, and it seems that Archbishop Bryan wants to go over the top. So both teams are still trying to gather their play and style and see what the other team is doing.
Yeah, certainly indeed. And what we've seen so far, is it's good for both sides to try it out. But now with Archbishop Bryan on the attack with the middle, as the one Archbishop Bryan player had no help from her teammates, just had an open field, but was surrounded by the black shirts of Northwestern Lehigh. But another turnover, Archbishop Bryan kicking it upfield. Glassberg picks it up easily. But right now, as both the chances by Archbishop Bryan so far, both trying to try a cross from distance or a through ball upfield, but so far have been easily picked up by Glassberg. But now, as Northwestern trying to find something here, is another turnover, and then as we see a Northwestern player fall down, we see a bit of the physicality from this Archbishop Bryan team.
Yeah, it seems like Archbishop Bryan is playing a little bit of quick ball. They, anytime the ball goes out of bounds, they're ready to automatically pick it up and get it downfield to their strikers.
So after 5 minutes, both teams trying to find some offense, but have struggled with settling the ball, as that is turned over by Archbishop Bryan, as it was a turnover by Chelsea Ritter, who is a sophomore this year. Now Northwestern Lehigh, as they take the ball on the far side of the field, they kick it back to their defense. But as they try to pass upfield, it is turned over, and another throw-in for Archbishop Bryan. Not a bit of a good turnout tonight here for a state championship playoff game. Got fans on both sides, especially since we got the limited crowding with the coronavirus still going on. But, we're glad that all those fans out there here attending tonight's game are allowed to see that this varsity girls game and possibly stay for the varsity boys game later.
Yeah, I was going to say Archbishop Bryan has a pretty big fan base right now for traveling that 2 hours.
But now with the chance, Archbishop Bryan working on the far side of the field. as it's kicked all the way back from the defense and is just out of reach for, I believe that was Luca Varello, as the ball came in over the top from the defender, but just far out of reach. But it could have gotten an opportunity because there was no way Glassberg for Northwestern was picking that up.
Yeah, it seems that Archbishop Ryan is playing the over the top ball to their strikers, whether it's coming back from the left or right defensive player or coming from their midfielders, but it seems like they're on the quick attack here.
But a turnover right here as Varillo was able to pick that off in the middle, but she was unable to find her teammate as she made a pass across the middle as it was turned over, but Archbishop Ryan maintains possession as it was Emily DeLuise who was unable to receive that pass, but now as it is a throw-in to Northwestern Lehigh. So a great job by this defense of Northwestern Lehigh to shut down that attack. But now we're starting to see it. They're starting to lose momentum as here comes Archbishop Ryan. They move downfield as it on the far side of the field. They are working the ball, but as a cross comes in, it is stopped by this defensive unit of Northwestern Lehigh. But with a shot that was blocked, as it was Chelsea Ritter who took the shot but was blocked by a Northwestern player. But then as the ball was kicked into the box, it is easily picked up by Naomi Glassberg. But now, after we've seen both of these teams trying to get some offensive work for both sides, we're now starting to see Archbishop Bryan slowly take over and control the passing game. But now as that pass was made by Archbishop Bryan in the middle, as it was Rebecca Dalton who's gotten a few opportunities for Archbishop Bryan. But now as this ball rolls all the way to the back, the defender for Archbishop Bryan, and it was Caitlin Brace. She had the one player, Northwestern, in Bailey Scheifler, just following her back, just keeping the pressure. But now, as it works to the other side of the field, Archbishop Bryan with possession. They get a pass upfield, not a through ball. But now as they continue to work on the far side of the field, they like working on that far side of the field, so you got a lot of their key players just trying to work the ball on the near side, or on the far side, excuse me.
Yeah, it seems like they're moving the ball really well, coming up the far side, and you can see that they might have found the weakness in the Northwestern Lehigh defense, as they seem to be finding success coming down the far side.
But now as they continue to maintain possession, but this Northwestern defense was able to clear it away. But not for long, as Archbishop Bryan is able to maintain possession. As we're almost through the first 10 minutes here. If you haven't already, be sure to download the Penn Sports Radio app on their iPhone and Android devices. And follow us on social media. And you could also listen to games on PennSportsRadio.com. But if you're just joining us, Noah Pegler alongside Emily Janey for this coverage of varsity girls soccer here on Penn Sports Radio as Northwestern Lehigh takes on the Archbishop Ryan in a game that is a state playoff game. Winner of this matchup will go on to the quarterfinal round, which is on Saturday, to take on the District 1 champion. As that ball rolls all the way to the far side, and it will be a throw-in for Northwestern Lehigh.
Something to point out, that Northwestern Lehigh is sitting in a low block. They really have been put on the defensive right now, as Archbishop Ryan is just all attack right now, as they're only sitting in a 3-back right here, whereas Northwestern Lehigh can't really get the ball out of their half of the field.
No, yeah, I mean, it's definitely good that this defense of Northwestern Lehigh is doing 4 defensive players in the back, because it's really helping them right now take on this Archbishop Bryan offense. But eventually you're going to have to get it up to your forwards for Northwestern Lehigh, which includes Alexa Bleem and even Samantha Bard-Donner, who, I mean, eventually they got to try and get the ball upfield to see what they can do and try and get any goals But now, as it looks like there's going to be a foul right near midfield,
Yeah.
and it's going to be a free kick for Northwestern Lehigh.
That was a foul on Emily DeLucy. She knew that her defense wasn't ready and didn't have enough players back, so she did a typical soccer move right there, grabbing at the back of the jersey just to slow down the run of play, to take that foul to let them set up for the free kick.
But now Northwestern Lehigh try to get upfield, but a low free kick was easily intercepted by Archbishop Ryan. But Northwestern Lehigh are not going away. They retake possession, but as that some turnovers, but now it's finally possessed by Northwestern Lehigh. And one thing is that, I mean, it was a smart foul by Archbishop Ryan, but it's a good thing that that wasn't far downfield, because if it's a defender doing that, then that's like at the professional level or at any level at soccer, it's denial of a goal-scoring opportunity, and usually that leads to a red card.
Yeah, no, I totally agree, and you see that often in professional soccer, but yeah, didn't see that there.
But now with 28 minutes to go, Archbishop Ryan trying to get upfield, and they kick it out of bounds, but it's going to be a throw-in for Archbishop Ryan. They've done well so far moving upfield, with dominating the offensive play. But now looks like we got a foul right on the near side of the field, and it's going to be looks like a free kick for Archbishop Ryan.
This looks right outside of the 18-yard box here for Archbishop Ryan. So we'll see how many players Northwestern Lehigh puts up on the wall, and this is the first true test for that sophomore goalkeeper for Northwestern Lehigh.
Yes, it's Glassberg. She's got 3 players in the wall as they move back 10 yards. Yeah, this free kick is being taken right on the corner of the 18-yard line. Now, as it got one player running over the ball, as it comes in and just goes over the net. A missed opportunity there by Archbishop Ryan, as it was Kylie Davis who took the free kick. Her senior had the right angle, but just way over the net. And it's going to be a goal kick for Northwestern Lehigh. But now a goal kick, as it will roll all the way upfield, all the way back to the defense. But then it will be intercepted by Northwestern Lehigh. Now the ball rolled to midfield, as that looks to be Alexa Bleem with the ball, but then she eventually ends up turning it over. But now as that ball rolls all the way out to the near sideline, it's going to be a throw-in for Archbishop Ryan.
I will say, going back to that free kick there, even though she tried to place it, Kylie Davis tried to place that herself, Northwestern Lehigh had that covered. They had great defensive shape on that free kick, and I really didn't see anyone from Archbishop Ryan getting ahead on that ball.
No, yeah, I mean, it had the right angle, and it was going toward the back post to try and curl it, but just a little too far up above the nets. But now a chance here by Archbishop Ryan as a player falls down for Northwestern Lehigh, but unable to get around into the offense was Luca Varello. But after it is kicked out of bounds by Northwestern Lehigh, it's going to be a corner kick. First corner of the matchup, and the first one for Archbishop Ryan.
Yeah, you can see the physicality here playing in the first 15 minutes here. That was a pretty hard tackle right outside the box. Ref didn't call it, but you can see that this game is going to be physical.
So now it'll be Kylie Davis to take the corner kick. She took the free kick moments ago. As the ball comes in, got a few heads on it, but eventually it will be cleared out by Northwestern Lehigh. So after 2 set plays for Archbishop Ryan, they failed to capitalize on both of them. But it's still going to stay with Archbishop Ryan, as it's going to be a throw-in on the far side.
You can see Emily DeLucy right there, got her head on that. She misdirected it, and after the play was over, she showed a bit of frustration there because she knew she wanted that one back.
So now, as Northwestern Lehigh, they finally clear it out. But now some momentum. A foul will be called, as you had the Northwestern player and Kylie Zentz, who was tripped up on the play. And that's going to be a foul at midfield. But now it will give some momentum back to Northwestern Lehigh, who finally can escape that offensive pressure of Archbishop Ryan. But now as the free kick will be kicked upfield. And it's going to be fielded by Archbishop Ryan. But now as the ball is cleared, it hit right into the face of the player in Cameron Fitch, the offensive player of the of Northwestern Lehigh. But it's going to be a goal kick for Archbishop Ryan. So now after the goal kick, Archbishop Ryan's going to move it upfield. But a poor chance right there as it's kicked out to the far side, and it's going to be a turnover. And now Northwestern Lehigh finally getting some momentum in this game. Northwestern, they also won the Colonial League Championship by defeating Southern Lehigh. They won 3-0 in that game. It was the second straight title in the Colonial League. Northwestern really hoping to add a state championship this year. But this is their third state appearance in the state tournament in the last 4 years. They made it in 2017 and in 2019. But now as Archbishop Bryan get the possession of the ball, they try to kick it upfield. But now it's going to be a throw-in for Northwestern Lehigh. Right now, 22 minutes left as we near the halfway point of this first half. Seeing a lot of great offensive play by Archbishop Ryan. They've been able to get those 2 set pieces, 1 free kick and 1 corner. But so far, they have not been able to get anything into the back of the net so far.
Yeah, I'd like to see both teams spread the ball a little bit more. It seems like both teams are kind of forcing it up the far side of the field, and they're not using the space of the field. And I'd like to see Northwestern Lehigh really hit number 12, Kylie Zent. She's sitting on Archbishop Ryan's back line just waiting for a ball to run onto. So I'd like to see them get her more involved in the game.
But now another free kick opportunity for Northwestern Lehigh. This is their third from right around midfield. But as this one's taken from distance, there's nobody able to capitalize on it. And it is easily picked up by the goalkeeper in Emma Joyce. And right now, we could definitely see what we've seen out of Northwestern Lehigh. I mean, they've been able to possess the ball right at midfield, but the one thing is that this defense of Archbishop Bryan, their physicality and what they've been able to shut down the forwards, like they have Northwestern's had a hard time possessing the ball in the offensive third.
Yeah, totally. It's definitely something to watch out for going forward.
But now is Archbishop Bryan, a free kick, just stopped shortly. But now Northwestern Lehigh with the ball as they kick the ball upfield, but it's just far out of reach for the teammate in Kylie Zentz. But as it's turned over, Archbishop Bryan with the ball. Zentz receives a pass, unable to settle it, dealing with the 2 players of Archbishop Bryan. And then it's finally cleared out, but Archbishop Bryan is on the ball. But eventually it's going to be a throw-in for Northwestern Lehigh.
You can definitely see this game, even though we're about hitting the halfway mark through the first half here, you can definitely see the physicality of this game. Both teams want to win bad. Win this game, you move on to the state quarterfinals, and both teams have been there before, so they really want to get back there. And you can tell that this is going to be a physical game throughout the rest of the first half and into the second half.
And now with Archbishop Bryan with the ball on the far sideline as more substitutes will be made by both teams, mostly by Archbishop Bryan. But now as it's cleared out again, it's going to be another throw-in to Archbishop Bryan. But as the throw-in comes down the far sideline, it is cleared away. But once again, Northwestern Lehigh just has to clear it away, but Archbishop Bryan moving downfield. On the next throw-in, the ball gets cleared out, but it's going to be a corner. So it's going to be the second corner of the match for Archbishop Bryan.
And it looks like this corner is now going to be taken by Caitlin Brace, as the first one was taken by Kylie Davis.
Yes, as Davis is right now, after just a corner and a free kick, was unable to get anything to her offense, but now with a chance for Archbishop Bryan. The corner comes in. It's possessed by Archbishop Bryan. They kick it out. A shot is taken but blocked, as the shot was taken by Kylie Davis, but is blocked by the defense of Northwestern Lehigh. And as the ball is kicked upfield, Archbishop Bryan finally settles it down, goes all the way back to his defense, and is cleared to the far side by Northwestern Lehigh, and is a throw-in for Archbishop Bryan. One thing is that we're starting to see the shots out of Archbishop Bryan, but they're shooting it right at the opposing players. Like, so far, all their shots, they've hit somebody. Like, they keep hitting this Northwestern defense. I mean, it's good that, that the Northwestern players, they're putting their bodies out in front of the ball to try and help out with the defense.
Totally. Archbishop Bryan so far throughout this first half has 3 shots on goal, but each seem to hit a Northwestern Lehigh defender right in front of the goal. So, yeah, it'll definitely be interesting. It seems that Archbishop Bryan is fully on the attack right now. I'd like to see Northwestern Lehigh just try and settle and try and, slow down the tempo of Archbishop Bryan.
But now as the pass goes across the middle, but then it is kicked upfield by Archbishop Bryan. Got about under 18 minutes to go. Noah Pegler alongside Emily Janey, bringing you coverage of this game from Northwestern Lehigh High School. But now, as a turnover, Northwestern Lehigh moving upfield. And the ball is taken and goes right to the defense of Archbishop Bryan. But now upfield, Archbishop Bryan with the ball. And Glassberg was able to easily pick it up as the player in Carrie Gauntz was just out of reach on that last ball, but now it gives a chance for Northwestern to try and move upfield. Now at midfield is Kayla Bardonner as she turns the ball over to Archbishop Bryan. But now toward the near side, here comes Archbishop Bryan. They weren't able to find anything as they moved into the offensive zone, but it's cleared away. But once again, Northwestern Lehigh has to try and clear it out, but in comes the one player from Archbishop Bryan, and we get some close plays. Both teams kicking it up, and a foul called as one player for Northwestern Lehigh went down, but after the ball ended up just going up in the air, we get a foul right near the defensive end of Northwestern Lehigh.
Yeah, that was a foul on Maddie Camillo, number 6. She's a sub off the bench for Archbishop Bryan. So, yeah, that was a pretty physical foul there right outside of the 18. So, yeah, the physicality's picking up. No, I would say it's something to watch for the rest of this game.
So right now we got about 16 minutes to go. Northwestern Lehigh and Archbishop Bryan are tied at 0. Had a lot of opportunities by Archbishop Bryan. They've so far had the majority of the possession of the ball. But Northwestern has had a few moments where their defense has stepped up. One thing is that Northwestern could probably do is, as their offense keeps trying to move upfield, I mean, you got to have somebody in the midfield. Like, they need to be in a position where they can take the ball and just run upfield and find the open spaces, because if you're going to have all the Archbishop Bryan players upfield in the offensive zone, that allows you to create that open space and try and get those open passes.
Totally. I completely agree with you. It seems that the midfield for Northwestern Lehigh is kind of hanging back, helping on defense, which is something that's because Archbishop Bryan has just been on the attack this whole time. But hopefully Northwestern Lehigh can adjust and really counter that.
But now as it's kicked out toward the near sideline, there'll be a throw-in for Archbishop Bryan. And as it's kicked upfield once again by this defense, both defensive units have done well clearing the ball, but here's a chance for Northwestern Lehigh, as it is Bardonner, but she was unable to get it past the defender of Archbishop Bryan in Brace, but now throw in for Northwestern. But now as the ball is kicked into the box, a missed opportunity for Northwestern Lehigh, but they continue to maintain possession of the ball. But right now, Archbishop Bryan had a bit of a struggle trying to clear the ball out, but they finally were able to clear it out. But now as they move upfield, as they move past midfield. The ball just rolls all the way past on the far sideline, and it's going to be a throw-in for Northwestern Lehigh. So that last opportunity right there, Emily, was the Northwestern Lehigh's best offensive chance of the night.
Yeah, they looked good on that play, and that actually came up the near side, and I thought they got more players forward that time, and they looked better on the attack, and it's something that hopefully they can continue to do to counterattack this Archbishop Bryan attack.
Now, yeah, certainly something to go back to for Coach Bleem, as, again, the game tonight really is in the state playoffs truly matters in this game. Got about 14 minutes to go here in the first half. Both of these teams are hoping to look for an opening goal to try and set that tone going into halftime, and really hoping to try and set some momentum, because as right now, seeing how both of these teams are playing, one goal could probably win the game.
Totally, I agree. I think whoever scores first, I think truly is going to control the rest of the game. But Archbishop Bryan here now moving on the attack.
Well, yeah, it says Archbishop Bryan, we're moving upfield, but a good job by this Northwestern Lehigh defense, who were able to clear it out. But as the ball just rolls away through a few players, gets cleared out once again, but now another throw-in for Archbishop Bryan. But now another throw-in as it's cleared out by Northwestern Lehigh. The defense of Northwestern Lehigh has to clear it out, kicks it high into the air. Finally settles down, and it's going to be a finally settled. And going on to the middle is Northwestern Lehigh. Bleem passes it to her teammate in Morrow. And as it's Zentz for Northwestern Lehigh, trying to get away from the defender of Archbishop Bryan. And you saw the physicality right there between the defensive player, and it looked like it was Davis for Archbishop Bryan. And it's going to be a foul in favor of Archbishop Bryan.
Yeah, this physicality is just something I'm going to keep going back to. You can clearly see that these teams are both going to be physical, and they both want the ball. And that was also a very good attack by Northwestern Lehigh. They put a few string passes together and almost got a shot off on goal there.
Yeah, certainly. They've had their few opportunities, but the defensive unit has held strong for Archbishop Bryan. But now they're on the attack once again, as that is kicked upfield and is easily intercepted by Northwestern Lehigh. But now Bleem, the forward for Northwestern, gets around the player and sends a through ball for Zentz. She's had the room and space to run with, but is easily picked up by the goalkeeper in Joyce for Archbishop Bryan. So another missed opportunity right there, and a great chance on a through ball that was just short.
Yeah, it seems like that Northwestern Lehigh is starting to find their footing a little bit. They're realizing that this Archbishop Bryan back line is sitting high. So if they can get a through ball over the top or out on this near side for Kylie Zentz, that could be the first goal right there for Northwestern Lehigh.
So a missed chance right there for Northwestern, but here comes Archbishop Bryan. Got three players right near the ball for them, as they couldn't get anything on the net, but it looks like there's going to be a foul, and it's going to be going against Archbishop Bryan, so a free kick for Northwestern.
I actually think that might have been an offsides, I realized, and that was offsides by Carrie Gauntz. She unfortunately got the first ball there, but couldn't backtrack enough to get onside.
No, yeah, I mean, you could definitely see it's difficult from our angle, where you saw there was like three players right in the area, and I mean, just if one player is just on the wrong side of the line, I mean, even if the ball's right there, it can be called an offside. But now a chance by Archbishop Bryan. There was no player on the back post, but the ball will be cleared away easily by Northwestern Lehigh, but not out far enough, as it will be easily intercepted by Archbishop Bryan. The players move around quickly, but upfield, as it had to be cleared away, and it's going to be a throw-in, as the ball was right near the feet of Paige Geiger, but she was unable to get it away from the defender in Northwestern Lehigh, but it'll be a throw-in as more substitutes come in for Archbishop Bryan.
Yeah, that was cleared off the line by junior Sarah Yeakel. That was a big save right there, because that Archbishop Bryan player could have turned around and easily put that ball in the back of the net.
We got under 10 minutes to go here from Northwestern Lehigh High School. Hope Hegler alongside Emily Janey, Archbishop Ryan, and Northwestern Lehigh tied in this game at 0. Both these teams trading offensive opportunities. Archbishop Ryan have done a better job with maintaining possession of the ball. In a state playoff game, the winner of this matchup will advance to the next round on Saturday in the quarterfinal, taking on the District 1 champion. But now, as it is a turnover by Northwestern Lehigh, but now there will be a foul called against Northwestern Lehigh. It'll be a free kick for Archbishop Ryan. So it's going to be taken out from the back. The free kick is eventually cleared out by this Northwestern team, as it was the defender and Maggie Morrow. But now, as the defense clears it away on another throw-in, but Archbishop Ryan is able to just settle it down. Now they're going to try and switch fields. So far, they've done well playing on the far side of the field. But Northwestern Lehigh has figured it out as they've been able to clear it away. But as the ball bounces back and forth, a shot taken, and Glassberg is able to pick it up. A shot finally on goal by Archbishop Ryan, and it was just a small dribbler easily picked up by Glassberg.
Yeah, that was shot by number 8, Christian Montag. She's been pretty busy up there going against that back line, but finally put that shot on goal and easy save.
No, yeah, I mean, if you're going to try and test Glassberg, I mean, the one thing is that, I mean, I think she was able to get at least one more touch on the ball, but you need to try and make sure you get a little more power on it, or otherwise you're not going to get anything past Glassberg. As, I mean, we mentioned it, that the goalkeepers were going to be key tonight in the game, and so far they haven't really been tested that much.
Yeah, no, that's something really to point out. And even with this Archbishop Ryan attack, they really haven't tested the goalkeeper in Glassboro. But also, Joyce back here in goal also really hasn't been tested, as her team has been on the attack for pretty much the entire first half.
So, yeah, so both defenses are certainly have earned their pretty much fair share of work of tonight. But now, as the majority of opportunities have come for Archbishop Ryan. But now we got under 7 minutes to go. The game is tied at 0. Archbishop Ryan really controlling possession of the ball, but right now Northwestern, they're starting to finally gain that momentum, and that's one thing Coach Bleem is probably going to be trying to tell this team during halftime, going to try and keep them hyped and loose in this game. But now as the ball is cleared away on the far side, it's going to be a throw-in for Archbishop Ryan. But now as a throw-in comes in, it is a finally settled by Archbishop Ryan as they have the ball right around midfield. But as the ball is kicked upfield and no one is there to receive it for Archbishop Ryan, it's going to be easily picked up by Glassberg.
Something to point out, also following this girls' game, we will have the boys' state round of 16 game with Archbishop Ryan and Northwestern Lehigh. As you can see, the boys, both teams have just filled in, and they're cheering their girls' team on.
Yes, but now as a shot is taken by Northwestern Lehigh, it was Sophia Modalese as the junior midfield. The shot looked like it may have taken a deflection, but now finally a good shot by Northwestern Lehigh. As we come down to the final 5 minutes of the first half, Northwestern Lehigh, they try to possess the ball, but is easily taken away by Archbishop Ryan. They move it up the far sideline. And that one will be kicked out of play and will be a throw-in for Northwestern Lehigh. Archbishop Ryan last year came in with a 16-1 record. They were the District 12 champs and qualified for states, making it all the way to the state semifinals before losing to Villa Joseph Marie in a 2-0 game in a close matchup. Certainly, they hope to try and return to go there tonight. I mean, 2 wins, a win tonight, and if they win on Saturday, they can accomplish that feat by returning to the semifinal.
Yeah, that's definitely got to be something in the back of your head. Losing the game right before the championship, not actually having that opportunity. So that's definitely got to be in the back of these players' minds, tonight. Win one game tonight, win the next game, and we get back there.
But now, as the ball is turned over, it is kicked upfield by Archbishop Bryan, but is cleared away quickly by Northwestern. And one thing we're seeing a lot out of Northwestern is that they're just clear. I mean, we're seeing it out of both sides. I mean, obviously you got to clear the ball out in soccer, but Northwestern, I mean, they have to kick it out every time. And I mean, it's literally just one touch every time for this defense of Northwestern.
Yeah, totally. But I will say this defensive line, for the amount of attack Archbishop Bryan has had this first half, they've really held up, and they've played it as a cohesive unit.
But now as the ball is cleared away, all the way out to near midfield, it's going to be staying with Archbishop Bryan, another throw-in. But now as it comes downfield, it is going to be cleared away by the defense of Northwestern Lehigh, as it was Cameron Fitch who was able to clear the ball away. But now as another throw-in comes in, it's going to be headed out upfield away by Northwestern Lehigh. Now as the ball goes all the way downfield, got about 3 minutes to go here in the first half. Score tied at 0. Archbishop Bryan have had their few shots on goal, but so far all of them have ended up hitting the defenders of Northwestern Lehigh. They have not been able to test Glassberg, the goalkeeper of Northwestern Lehigh, that much. But as a goal kick by Northwestern Lehigh goes upfield, but as Zentz was able to try and get a header, but is headed away by the defense. But then Northwestern Lehigh is just going to kick it out, and it's going to be a throw-in for Archbishop Bryan. Right now, the Archbishop Bryan team, they've certainly showed the physicality in this game. I mean, they've got the majority of the fouls, most of them at least around midfield.
Yeah, totally. It's definitely something I'm going to watch. I think we're both looking at to see, if it gets more physical, if they stay where they're at. But, yeah, it's definitely being a factor in this game.
But now under 2 minutes, Archbishop Bryan trying to move upfield. Ball is cleared out by Northwestern, but not far enough. But now as it works all the way to the Archbishop Bryan near side. But a missed opportunity right there as the ball just rolled out of reach for Sierra Donato. But now a turnover leads for Northwestern Lehigh with a chance as the ball was kicked upfield by Bleem, but hit the back of the defender of Archbishop Bryan as she was trying to find Zentz, but was unable to on that last ball over the top. And now it's going to be a throw-in. Right now, as we got 1 minute. Both teams are, at this point, looking to just settle into halftime, make their adjustments. As Northwestern Lehigh have got to be at least a little happy that they didn't give up a goal so far in this game against Archbishop Bryan.
Yeah, definitely agree. We'll see right here with this free kick for Northwestern Lehigh.
So about 40 seconds to go. The kick is well short of the large group of players. Has had to be settled by Archbishop Bryan. And the ball will be kicked away by Northwestern Lehigh. But Archbishop Bryan will continue to try and figure out what they can do going into this next half, as they got their work cut out for them. Got to figure out how to get past this defensive unit of Northwestern Lehigh. They're going to try one more chance here, but unable to get the shot off, as you hear the horn sound off here as we have reached halftime here at Northwestern Lehigh High School, as Northwestern Lehigh are tied 0-0 with Archbishop Bryan. We'll step aside, but we'll be right back as we reach halftime. You are listening to Northwestern Lehigh Varsity Girls Soccer here on Penn Sports Radio.
With the best materials and professional standards, Edge One Property Services of New Tripoli is your home for commercial and industrial residential services. This includes cleaning solutions, painting, pavement solutions, snow, ice management, and landscape. Edge One Services' sophisticated management team can provide maintenance services to the commercial, industrial, educational, and HOA community sectors. Give your property the Edge One effect. For more information, call 484-247-4240 or go to edgeoneservices.com.
The Northwestern Lehigh Football Booster Club takes pride in its work with the players, parents, and staff that make up this great team. Their mission is to help promote the program through fundraisers, sponsorships, and volunteer support from people like you. From pregame meals and equipment to year-ending banquets, the Booster Club helps to provide a great atmosphere for their student athletes. Their hard work doesn't stop after football is done. It's a year-round commitment to help keep Northwestern football strong.
Hi, this is Andy Toth, president of the Booster Club. I wanted to thank all of our volunteers and ask you to help where you can support our efforts. Please go to NWL Tigers Football Booster Club on Facebook to find out how you can help.
DJI Insurance is an independent agency with over 50 years combined industry experience, and our clients are our top priority. Because we work with multiple insurance carriers, it allows us to provide options for coverages and competitive pricing. We take pride in serving our policyholders and will customize a policy that suits your specific needs. Consider DJI Insurance Agency, your insurance compass, and let us assist you in navigating life's insurance needs.
And welcome back here to coverage of Northwestern Lehigh High School soccer varsity girls here on Penn Sports Radio as we've reached halftime, as Northwestern Lehigh is tied with Archbishop Bryan at 0. After a physical first half by Archbishop Bryan, they've been unable to put anything in the back of the net, but now they got a second half as we got plenty of action in a very close game. As we've reached halftime, Noah Pegler here alongside Emily Janey. As right now in the first half, we saw a lot of good play out of both sides, but then after we saw, it was about both teams were able to possession the ball well, but then we finally saw Archbishop Bryan just take over after like 5 minutes going into that first half.
Yeah, I definitely think that both teams came out in the first 5 minutes or so and really trying to figure each other out, feel each other out, see the tempo of the game, see what the strategy is by either side. And I think after those first 5 to 10 minutes, it was really all Archbishop Bryan for the next 15 minutes or so as they, I wrote down here that tempo. I think Archbishop Bryan in that first half really set the tempo. They controlled the game. I would say possession was maybe 70-30 there by Archbishop Bryan. And also the physicality is something that I know I've talked about, and I know Noah, you've pointed out a couple times. But the thing with Northwestern Lehigh is that their back line really held up against that Archbishop Bryan attack. And they really played as a 4-back cohesive unit, and it was really impressive to see that, to counter that Archbishop Bryan attack.
Well, with the defense of Northwestern Lehigh, they should get a lot of credit for keeping the ball out of pretty much the offensive zone that entire time. As if you look at it, there's pretty much no shots inside the 18. The closest thing we had was the corner kick, which was like a header by Archbishop Bryan. They didn't capitalize on that. So far, they've done well with getting to the end line with the two corners. Northwestern, they've had their few opportunities. They had a great opportunity coming up the near sideline, but then they pass. What was it? Both times they tried to go over the top of the defense, but the Archbishop Bryan defense, they've been just able to clear it out. But then, so far, we haven't seen much out of this Northwestern offense.
Yeah, I agree with you on that, but I also think towards the end, Northwestern Lehigh finally kind of found their footing. They realized that because the Archbishop Bryan back line is sitting so high due to their midfield and strikers just being in attack mode, that their line is high, and that way on the counterattack, Northwestern Lehigh can play that ball over the top to Kylie Zentz. And she had one or two opportunities there. Unfortunately, she had a missed touch here or there, but I think that might be the way Northwestern Lehigh can put one in the back of the net.
Yeah, one opportunity that happened upfield as it was just far out of reach. One player that keeps showing up on the offense is Kylie Zentz. So far, she's been the the better forward and being able to pressure that defense of Archbishop Ryan. But so far, I mean, the one through ball that went right through everyone. I mean, she was able to get away from that defensive line, but was just far out of reach. And it's just that Northwestern Lehigh, I mean, pretty much, I mean, if you had to mark the possession of the ball, I mean, it's like you got it well in your defense. You got it well right at midfield, but then once you get into, like, that whole, like, border of what you call, like, the midfield and offensive third, that's where, I mean, it's just, like, it's all Archbishop Ryan. And the fact is that they try, like, you're just seeing a wall of, like, just red and white shirts, and they haven't been able to test the goalkeeper in Joyce tonight. I mean, honestly, Glassberg, she's faced more opportunities tonight, and she's done well so far.
Yeah, I totally agree. And speaking of that wall with Archbishop Ryan, I think it starts with Emily DeLuzzi, number 13, the midfielder. She's really kind of the centerpiece, it seems, to this Archbishop Ryan team. It seems that most balls coming from the back line go through her, and you can see her dictating where to send the ball, where to play the ball, and she's definitely a leader here on this Archbishop Ryan team, and she's one of the ones that you can really see the physicality of her play, and it's just something to watch out for. And going with Northwestern Lehigh, Maltalise has gotten a couple through balls there to Zen, so I would like to see her step up in the midfield and kind of challenge Emily DeLuzzi and see what is going on there and see which midfielder can really step up and help their team out.
Yeah, and then one thing about this Archbishop Ryan team is that they've liked working on the far side of the field. They've been able to work well with possession. They've been able to control everything where, I mean, it helps with the possession that Northwestern, what they've been able to do is that if you could do anything, I know, like, the gut reaction is to kick it out of bounds and try and clear it away. But the thing is that, like, there have been so many throw-ins by this Archbishop Ryan team, and it's sort of helped them kind of control the game. I mean, I know, yeah, you never want to say control in the middle because that's where all the players are at and keeps the ball in play. But right now, I mean, you got to try and figure out how you can control the ball in any way, and I think that's what Coach Bleem is going to try and say to her team at halftime.
Yeah, I agree with you on that statement. I think if they can find a way to bring it to their tempo and not play Archbishop Ryan's high-fast, high-pace tempo of soccer here, I think that will benefit Northwestern Lehigh. If they can settle it down, bring those balls down, and really start working through from the back line to the midfield. It seems like they're also playing a little bit narrow, so something I would like to see from Northwestern Lehigh would be to spread the ball out a little bit more, but it definitely starts with their back line, and their goalkeeper is being really dominant back there, so hopefully in the second half we have a bit more opportunities on goal, and both goalkeepers really haven't been tested this first half.
No, yeah, I mean, the one thing is, like, the closest thing we saw from a shot was outside Glassberg. I mean, it was a slow dribbler that, like, it wasn't even picked up. And then, I mean, Joyce, I mean, she's only, I think, touched the ball a few times. But then it's just that Northwestern Lehigh, you look at their play on the field, it's just that they haven't been able to do well with, I mean, they've done well with working up the near side, but it's something that they got to work on. So we are going to step aside, but when we come back, we will bring you the start of the second half. You are listening to Northwestern Lehigh Varsity Girls Soccer here on Penn Sports Radio.
Nutripoli Bank is the bank you and your family have come to know and love. That's because Nutripoli Bank treats each and every customer as an individual, encouraging them to dream big and reach for their goals. Since 1910, Nutripoli Bank has ensured the financial well-being of all their customers. When you're ready to take that first step, Nutripoli Bank will be right by your side. Nutripoli Bank has 3 locations in the Lehigh Valley, Nutripoli, Orfield, and Emmaus. As a community bank serving the Lehigh Valley for over 100 years, Nutripoli Bank knows how important it is to offer their customers the convenience of cutting-edge banking technology coupled with a local presence that only a true community bank can provide. That's why Nutripoli Bank's mobile banking app, online banking platform, and website are all designed to meet your modern banking needs. For more information, go to NutripoliBank.net. That's NutripoliBank.net.
Whatever stage of life and career you find yourself in, Valor Wealth Management can help you make choices to benefit your tomorrow. Located in downtown Easton, Pennsylvania, Valor Wealth Management consists of a team of advisors with experience in a variety of tools necessary for their clients' success. President Michael McGuire has over 20 years of experience working with clients in the Lehigh Valley. Check out their website, valoradvisor.com, and for further information, call 610-295-5593.
And welcome back here to coverage of Northwestern Lehigh varsity girls soccer here on Penn Sports Radio as we are about to start the second half. Northwestern Lehigh Tigers are right now leading or tied in this game at 0 with Archbishop Bryan after a physical first half. Noah Pegler alongside Emily Janey bring you coverage of this game. So far, we've seen a good game by both sides, but now we'll see what adjustments the head coaches have made at halftime. The winner of this game goes on to the next round in the state playoffs, where they will advance to the quarterfinal round on Saturday to take on the District 1 champion. But so far, it has been an excellent game by both teams. And right now, what do you think it's going to take for Archbishop Bryan to finally put a goal in the back of the net?
I think they just keep doing what they're doing. I think they're on the attack, and they're just missing that final piece. And we'll see if the coach at halftime figured out what that final piece was. And then for Northwestern Lehigh, I just think they need to be more on the attack and trust their back line that, you know, they can stay in that 4 back with the help of that 10-spot player. But I'd like to see them push the ball up the field more.
All right, so now as Archbishop Bryan got the ball first to start the first half, Northwestern Lehigh will get ball first to start it, as the ref's going to have to make him take that kick, as she just tried to kick it back to her teammates. It was Zenitz, but now the ref will make her kick it again.
And also, as a reminder, following this girls' game, we will have the boys' soccer game, the first match of their round of 16 for Northwestern Lehigh and Archbishop Bryan.
So now, as we finally get the second half going underway, it's going to be a throw-in on the far sideline. Northwestern doing well with the tempo, getting an offensive opportunity right here, as is Zentz. Passes it back, and Bleem was unable to settle the ball, but Bar Donner was able to get to the ball, but eventually loses it. Now Archbishop Bryan moving upfield, as is Dalton, who loses possession of the ball, and a foul from behind against Archbishop Bryan. So a free kick for Northwestern right around midfield.
That was number 13, midfielder Emily DeLuzzi. I believe that's her second or third foul in the game, so that's something to keep an eye on. No card has been pulled out yet, but it seems as the physicality is still here in the second half as it was in the first half.
No, yeah, I mean, we haven't seen we've seen probably only about one pushing and shoving with the shoulders or elbows or anything, but a lot of the fouls have just been hard tackles by Archbishop Bryan, just coming up from behind, just trying to steal the ball, and nothing too serious for the ref to reach into the pocket and just show the yellow card. But now, as the ball goes upfield, it will be a throw-in for Northwestern Lehigh. But as the throw-in comes in, it is just cleared away by Archbishop Bryan, but it stays in play. Now as they switch fields, goes all the way to Kylie Davis, who did well with some of the set plays earlier, but was unable to put it in the back of the net. But here's a chance for Archbishop Bryan, as Glassberg had to come out and pick up the ball, to make sure it didn't end up as a chance for Kirsten Montag, as she tried to make a run on the ball, but a chance right there for Archbishop Bryan ends up falling away from them.
Yeah, they seem to take a page out of Northwestern Lehigh's book right there, as just playing the far through ball and see if Montag can get on the end of it.
But now as Northwestern Lehigh with the chance to move upfield, is a turnover and easily picked up by Archbishop Bryan and Chelsea Ritter. But as they work on the far sideline, as Dalton passes it to her teammate, and being brought down in the box, a chance for, they wanted a penalty there for Archbishop Bryan, but play continues on. A ball over the top, and it is having to come out of the box is Glassberg, and a lot of things happened on that last possession, but it will be easily picked up by Glassberg.
So we had a player down for Northwestern Lehigh there. Then we had a pretty good ball in over the top of the back line for Northwestern Lehigh by Archbishop Bryan. And then we had Glassboro come out and get it, and then we had an offside. So that was a lot happening right there in one play.
But now Northwestern Lehigh were able to escape it. But now Zentz is alone with the possession. One thing you notice with Zentz is that, I mean, so far, I mean, like I know one thing is that Northwestern is probably playing more of a defensive ball here, but they need to help Zentz upfield because there's only like 2 other players with her, and she can't do anything when there's like 5 or 6 Archbishop players surrounding her.
Exactly, and it seems like she's coming back to get the ball in order to set up herself and the rest of the attack.
So yes, Northwestern, they've at least done a better job in the second half with possessing the ball, but now as they move upfield, inside goes Emily Bleschmidt. But then it will go all the way for a throw-in for Archbishop Bryan. But now as the throw-in comes in, Northwestern Lehigh trying to block the ball, but is cleared away by Archbishop Bryan. And the foul's going to be called against Cameron Fitch, and it will be a free kick for Archbishop Bryan. But now Archbishop Bryan, they've certainly done well with controlling the game, but they got that one last offensive opportunity where they wanted a penalty. There was nothing serious on that last foul, was there, Emily?
No, it looked like both players just honestly fell into the ball, and neither player pulled each other down there, so I think that was a good no call, especially because if that was a call, that would have been a penalty kick, and that would have potentially changed the game.
Yeah, and for Northwestern Lehigh, that would have killed their momentum throughout the rest of this second half. But now, as Archbishop Bryan, trying to move upfield, as Dalton loses possession of the ball. But as the ball rolls all the way out toward the near sideline, it will be a throw-in for Northwestern Lehigh. Got about 34 minutes to go here in the second half. Right now the score tied at 0. But as looks like it's going to be a throw-in here after the ball went out of bounds.
I don't know about but I feel like both teams came out with a high tempo. I think Northwestern Lehigh came out and realized that they need to either match Archbishop Bryan's high tempo or slow down that tempo, and it seems like they came out with a better strategy. They're putting together more passes, and they seem to be, not sitting back as much and moving towards the middle half of this field right now.
Well, I mean, this Northwestern Lehigh team's got to be on its toes if they want to keep moving upfield, but now a chance for Archbishop Bryan, as it was just far out of reach for the Archbishop Bryan player and Kirsten Montag. Another through ball that was just too far, and it's going to be a goal kick for Glassberg. And the one thing is just that, it depends on where the players are on the field. I mean, it was good that Northwestern was able to maintain that possession, but so far, I mean, you look at some of the spacing for some of these players, and, I mean, you're looking at the tight coverage of Archbishop Bryan. They've done really well with, as we all learn in soccer, you got to be up against your opposing player. Like they tell you, keep your hand on their back, because that way, I mean, you can keep track of them, and so they can't try and outrun you and try and that's one thing that this Archbishop Bryan team has done well. But it's going to be a free kick for Northwestern Lehigh.
This kick is right on the other side of the 30-yard line, facing goal of Archbishop Bryan's goal.
But now, as the free kick comes in, a header that just ends up going out of reach. They're saying it took off a deflection off of Archbishop Bryan, and the ref is going to call it in favor of Northwestern Lehigh. It's the first corner kick of the matchup for Northwestern Lehigh. But now a chance here, a set piece inside, right around, that's actually right near the 18-yard box. But now a chance here.
And this,
as it comes in, and it's easily picked out of the air by the goalkeeper in Joyce.
And that was a corner set in by Sophia Motalis, and that was a good corner sent in, but unfortunately nobody was around.
No, yeah, as you had everyone marked back as they were up toward the top of the box, but then you saw the goalkeeper was just easily able to pick it up out of the air. And now we got a player down on the sideline for Northwestern Lehigh, as the player right now, it looks like they may have gotten knocked on the head as they're holding their hand on their face.
I was just going to say that was a ball that they were trying to settle down, and that looks like a shoulder to a head. It's a Northwestern Lehigh player down. Unfortunately, we can't get the number right now, but we just hope that she ends up being okay.
All right, so we're going to step aside here for a quick commercial timeout. You're listening to Northwestern Lehigh Varsity Girls Soccer here on Penn Sports Radio.
Let HTSS help you get the job that'll get you going in the right direction. HTSS at Emmaus is your staffing solution, and right now they're hiring for customer service call center reps, IT, engineers, and data entry, as well as sales and marketing, administrative office staff, accounting, financing, logistics, and distribution. Get started down the path to employment with HTSS. To set up an appointment, call 610-432-4161 or apply online at htss-inc.com. That's htss-inc.com.
And welcome back here to coverage of Northwestern Lehigh Varsity Girls Soccer here on Penn Sports Radio. Noah Pegler alongside Emily Janey, as the player down for Northwestern Lehigh was Sarah Yakel, the defender, who's a junior, who ended up getting a knock on the head. She's able to walk off the field, and now it's going to be a throw-in for Archbishop Ryan, but not good when you have one of your defensive players get hurt in this game, especially a tough defense like Northwestern Lehigh.
Yeah, we'll be curious to see how that plays into effect of the back line, as they were playing a strong four-back cohesive unit there. So we'll see if her replacement can come in and really hold that back line strong. So
it's Catherine Edgar who comes in as the replacement, who's also a junior this year, who's now got to fill in that spot. But now, got about 32 minutes to go here in the second half. Both teams still looking for the opening goal. Archbishop Ryan has at least done better offensively, but Northwestern, after struggling for about the first 20 minutes of the game, have been able to turn it around, but still nobody's been able to really test the goalkeepers tonight. But as the ball is kicked high into the air, and it will be finally brought down, but now at midfield, here comes Archbishop Ryan, as you had Archbishop Ryan just cutting across the field, as it was Chelsea Ritter who was just dribbling through everyone, but eventually is turned over. But Archbishop Ryan returned with the possession. Now here comes Ritter again, as she gets pushed from behind, and that's going to be a foul against Northwestern Lehigh. Now a free kick for Archbishop Ryan.
This is a free kick sitting right on about the 35-yard line. So it's definitely something that Archbishop Ryan can play on goal. We'll see if they can get ahead on this.
So as the free kick is taken at midfield, the ball comes over the top, and Glassberg having to make the catch out of midair. And now as the ball will be kicked upfield by Glassberg, now the Northwestern Lehigh goalkeeper kicks it upfield.
That was a big save by Glassberg, because if there was any rebound there were three Archbishop Ryan players right there waiting for her to drop that ball.
No, yeah, you could have caught anyone off guard, and I mean, so far we haven't seen anybody try and challenge the goalkeepers in the game. But following this game, we got varsity boys soccer, the state playoff game. Looks like the varsity boy players have left the stands and are warming up on the on the practice field just right outside of this stadium. But now Archbishop Ryan with a chance to try and move upfield. It's going to be a kicked out of bounds, and it's going to be a throw-in for Northwestern Lehigh. But now as the ball rolls all the way up near the far sideline, here comes Zentz. Ball's going to go in to the box, but is cleared away by this Archbishop Ryan team. But now it's going to be a throw-in for Northwestern Lehigh. Now another great opportunity for Northwestern Lehigh. They've done a better job in this second half with making sure they can get the ball upfield, and it looks like it's going to be a corner kick. So their second corner of the night, as the ball comes in, and just bounces out and rolls over the defensive player of Archbishop Bryan and is going to be kicked out of bounds, but it's going to stay with Northwestern Lehigh. But now as Archbishop Bryan try to clear it out, but it is eventually cleared out after taking a deflection off of a Northwestern Lehigh player. But now here on the at midfield, here comes Archbishop Bryan, as it was Montag. But now the ball goes all the way out for a throw-in, and as more subs are made, we got about under 30 minutes to go. Right now, Archbishop Bryan, so far, we've started to see their momentum start to slip away. We are now looking at a team where Archbishop Bryan, where they've had more possession upfield, they've started to lose a lot of that momentum.
It almost seems that Archbishop Bryan a little bit seems gassed in a weird way, if that makes sense. I'm curious to see, if they could pick that tempo back up, or if the fact that Northwestern Lehigh has kind of taken a page out of Archbishop Bryan's book and picked up the tempo as well. So we'll see which team can settle down this tempo and really connect their passes and put a ball in the back of the net.
So now here comes Northwestern Lehigh, as is Modalese with the ball, but she's unable to get around this defense of Archbishop Bryan. She gets shaken off by the defender, and she's just boxing her out. Zentz has to come in and try and clear it away, but now it's going to be a throw-in for Archbishop Bryan. If you haven't already, download the Penn Sports. You could download the Penn Sports Radio app for free on Apple and Android devices. You could also follow us on social media on Twitter and Facebook, and then you could also find more games and other games on PennSportsRadio.com. Right now, Archbishop Bryan still trying to find their offensive momentum that they had in the first half. But now they're starting to lose it as a turnover. And Northwestern Lehigh doing an excellent job, despite the fact that they lost their defender due to a head injury here in the second half.
As a player who I've dabbled a little in soccer and softball, but in sports, when you see a teammate go down, especially with an injury, it's almost a motivation to, really pick up your pace and want to win for that player. So that could be, where the spark is coming from for Northwestern Lehigh, but also Archbishop Bryan really seems flustered right now. They can't connect their passes. They're making some sloppy mistakes, and it seems like Northwestern Lehigh has really shifted.
So, yeah, the one thing is that it was good that you had Northwestern Lehigh. They didn't run around that entire first half. You mentioned it. This team looks a little exhausted, but also at the same time, it's just that there's a more of an aggressive attitude out of this Northwestern Lehigh team, and they've just done a good job of keeping the ball up in their offensive end. But now has another turnover. Here comes Northwestern Lehigh. It's Fitch. She cuts inside, trying to get around the defender of Archbishop Bryan. But now here comes Fitch again, unable to maintain possession of that ball. But now here comes Archbishop Bryan, who have started to lose possession of that last one. So far, they keep trying to make it. One thing we're seeing is that every time there's an Archbishop Bryan player who picks up the ball or is trying to dribble with it, that you see it, there's a Northwestern Lehigh player. They meet him right there, and you see players come up from behind and trying to steal the ball away.
Exactly. I was going to say, you see, for every one Archbishop Bryan player, you see about 3 Northwestern Lehigh players surrounding the ball. And something that I've noticed is that Archbishop Bryan seems to be forcing it down the middle, and they're just really just trying to place that through ball up to the top without connecting their passes. But Northwestern Lehigh's back line has now played a higher back line and seems to, take a page out of that Archbishop Bryan book from the first half.
So now it'll be Zentz who's going to come off the field. So far, she has done an excellent job in this game, but unfortunately hasn't been able to get anything on frame or on net for Northwestern Lehigh, as it will be Kayla Bardonner who will come in, the senior. Again, there's a lot of seniors on this team for Northwestern Lehigh. But now as they move upfield, as it's Bardonner who gets to the ball first, And she ends up losing it as the defense of Archbishop Ryan was able to clear it away, but it's going to be a corner kick. Third corner of the match for Northwestern Lehigh.
That was an excellent play by Sam Passiano for Archbishop Ryan. I think she might have saved a goal there kicking that out because there were 3 Northwestern Lehigh players running on the ball.
So as the corner comes in, they tried to go near post on this one, but it ends up hitting the side of the net, and it's going to be a goal kick for Archbishop Ryan.
That was a smart corner. They almost seemed to have Joyce a little... I don't think Joyce was prepared for that and kind of got lucky that went into the side netting.
No, yeah, I mean, so far what we saw with some of the corners, they kept trying to go to the back post and trying to make someone run on it, but seeing how it just wasn't working tonight, you just got to try and play that short ball, and, I mean, it definitely worked. It caught Joyce off guard, but right now, as we are nearing under 25 minutes to go, Archbishop Ryan now moving upfield, and that's going to be a goal kick for Northwestern Lehigh. Right now, Archbishop Ryan, they made it to the semifinal last year. Really hoping to try and they want to continue that streak of at least getting into the Final Four of this tournament. Which, I mean, it's great that we were able to have fall sports this year, especially with COVID-19 making an impact on the soccer schedule and even all fall sports. But now here comes Archbishop Ryan, a chance up the middle as the ball had to be cleared away quickly, as it looked like Montag with the opportunity. And actually, no, that was Chelsea Ritter, who's done well possessing the ball tonight. But Archbishop Ryan still with a chance, but now it will be shut down as a foul is called against this Archbishop Ryan team in Paige Geiger.
I don't know about that foul. That looked like both teams just fell on the ball there, but interesting call by the ref.
I mean, it looked like he signaled for a push, I guess, from the back. I don't know. So, I mean, obviously these fouls just coming from behind. But now, Northwestern Lehigh still trying to clear it out. But Archbishop Ryan, after the last few minutes, looks like they may have gotten some life back into this offense. But as it is cleared out by Northwestern Lehigh, Archbishop Ryan will return with possession of the ball as they try to move upfield. As now, Archbishop Ryan with Maddie Camillo. As it looks like she passed it to Ritter, but Ritter turns it over right around outside the box. But now Northwestern Lehigh try and turn it around as Bardonner. Kick it back to her teammate. And as it's cleared away quickly. And now Archbishop Ryan finally figuring out this Northwestern Lehigh offense as they start to control the ball here.
We haven't seen much from Emily DeLuzzi in this second half. She really dominated the first half in the midfield, taking the ball from the back line and connecting it either out wide to her midfielders or up to her strikers. And we really haven't seen much from her with possession-wise in the midfield, which is why I think Northwestern Lehigh is finding so much success coming up the middle of the field.
But now here's a chance with Northwestern Lehigh having to clear it out. Glassberg had to kick it upfield. And as the ball switches fields, we got about 20 minutes to go here. This is where it really comes down to the where the nerves start to build up in the final few minutes, where the smallest mistake at this point can cost you the game. And now everyone's going to be on edge as both teams and their bench. Really, it's going to build up a lot of pressure, and especially if this game ends up going into like overtime. But now, as Archbishop Ryan with a chance, they will try to get something going, but it looks like they'll be called to the foul, and then it's going to be a free kick for Northwestern. Well, actually, wait, no. Now it's a throw-in. Looks like they were trying to make a substitute, but didn't.
Right now, as we are a little under 20 minutes to go here in the second half, it's now coming down to the wire of which team wants it more, which team can, really settle down and play their strategy and play the way that the coaches, built up the strategy. And if Archbishop Ryan can get that tempo up, and if Northwestern Lehigh can just counterattack and do what they were doing when they came out in the first few minutes of the second half.
Yeah, Northwestern Lehigh, they've been able to keep up that tempo, but it's sort of slipped now. But as Archbishop Bryan, Ritter with a pass in the middle, but it's cleared away by this defense, and now with wide open space is Northwestern Lehigh. As they pass it upfield to Bardonner. She's alone upfield and is trying to get around the defensive player of Archbishop Bryan, but has a foul from behind. And it looks like the defender of Archbishop Bryan wasn't too happy about that last one and sort of like knocked her down as she was trying to get back up.
Yeah, we're going to see these last 15 minutes or so, or we're going to see the physicality really come out. And that's something to keep an eye on, is which team will make a mental error or mistake in the box that could cost them.
Oh, yeah, as that last one was a foul from behind from Northwestern. I mean, the one player, didn't like the foul, and, I mean, as you know, I mean, if you foul the wrong person, I mean, there are some players where it's like if you foul them, they'll hit you back and let you know, like, yeah, you can't do that to me, and try and mess around with that. But Northwestern Lehigh, I mean, with a foul like that and keeping up with that physical play, it's like we mentioned, they had to show up with the physical play tonight. And so far, I mean, keeping it at a close game, they're definitely frustrating this Archbishop Bryan team.
Yeah, that's a good way. That's a good word use right there. Frustration. It seems like Archbishop Bryan has really been frustrated starting the second half. They can't seem to find their footing. They can't seem to find that tempo they had in the first half, and that might be something that the coach of Northwestern Lehigh said to her team.
So now a foul at midfield, and that's going to be against Archbishop Bryan, as the majority of fouls happening at midfield, and there's another one. This one happening right about 30 yards out, and it gives a chance for Northwestern Lehigh. Got about under 18 minutes to go. Noah Pegler alongside Emily Janey. As the free kick comes in, and the ball hits off the crossbar, and the header has to come in and catches Joyce off guard. And that was one of the best opportunities tonight, hitting the crossbar right from distance. And Northwestern Lehigh could have taken a 1-0 lead if they just had the right angle on that free kick.
Wow, my mouth dropped watching that. That was junior number 9 midfielder Sophia Montalise. She hit that from about 40 yards out, and that hit just under the crossbar. And when I tell you that was something of spectacular, if that would have went in the back of the net, and it caught Emma Joyce, definitely caught her off guard, and definitely caught the Archbishop Bryan team off guard. So definitely something to keep in the back of our minds. If Northwestern Lehigh could have put that in the back of the net, this would be a complete different game.
Well, also you saw with Joyce, She wasn't jumping for that. She was assuming it was not going to hit off that crossbar. And, I mean, as a goalkeeper, you always got to try and make a jump for it. I mean, if you got the right angle, because, honestly, even if there was, like, a slight breeze going toward the opposite direction, like, that would have slowed the ball down enough where it could have just tucked in right underneath the crossbar. But now we'll see how Northwestern Lehigh responds. But now here comes Archbishop Bryan. They regain possession of the ball. But now as they try to move it upfield, there's Ritter. Passes it to her teammate. As actually that was Camillo with the ball. But now, as it is turned over, Zentz checks back in for Northwestern Lehigh. But now as Archbishop Bryan takes the ball, moving now to the far side. And as this Northwestern defense continues to just hold up the offensive front of Archbishop Bryan, is easily picked up by Glassberg, and the defense is really keeping them in this game. And at this point, Northwestern, they just need to find that one opportunity. They've really done well in this second half.
Yeah, it truly has been all Northwestern Lehigh for the last, I'd say, 6 or 7 minutes. And something to point out which just happened, there's been a pretty physical battle between Archbishop Bryan's number 7, Kylie Davis, and number 12, Kylie Zentz, forward going against left back right there. And that's something to watch out for. Those two have really been physical pretty much this entire game.
So both Kylies right now trying to step it up for their team. But now as the ball rolls all the way to Glassberg. and nothing's really starting to work so far. I mean, Archbishop Bryan, they really started to find their momentum, but now it feels like it's just starting to slip away. But now they are, I mean, at this point, I think for Archbishop Bryan, I mean, you would think that a close game would be working out in their favor, where, I mean, where they had control of the momentum, but now, it's starting to feel like it's starting to slip away from them.
Yeah, I completely agree with you on that. It just seems like they're not connecting their passes. They're playing a little bit of loose soccer. And it's just something to watch out because they really were connecting their passes. However, if they can score on the counterattack, that says something.
But now, here comes Archbishop Bryan. Here comes Kylie Davis as she takes one from distance, but Glassberg got the right read on it, and she's just able to pick it out of the air. Now, with under 15 minutes to go, both teams are just really coming down to the wire, but in a 0-0 game, Northwestern had a chance on a free kick, hit the crossbar, but unable to get anything. But now here comes Archbishop Bryan upfield as she was able to get it through the legs of the defender. A great job by Archbishop Bryan's number 19 and Carrie Gauntz, and has a foul at midfield. Will stop the momentum, but it will be a free kick for Northwestern Lehigh.
And that foul was the Kylie's going at it again, and Kylie Zentz got the better of that foul, and it's now a free kick for Northwestern Lehigh.
Under 13 minutes to go. Northwestern Lehigh with another free kick. Have a lot of the players moving upfield. But now as the free kick comes in, and it is settled by Northwestern Lehigh. The ball is kicked out of bounds, and it will be a throw-in for Archbishop Bryan. You got some subs coming in for Archbishop Bryan. They're definitely keeping the rotation of players upfield. Really trying to hope for something to go offensively. Right now, Archbishop Bryan, after a year where they lost their star players, which includes an MVP player also on second team and third team. Got a few players returning this year. But now that streak of trying to return to the state semifinal looks like it's in jeopardy. But this game's tied at 0. But right now, they're still trying to find their offensive momentum. But now, as it's into the offensive third of Northwestern Lehigh with a throw, as it looks like it's Bleem who turns it over. Zentz tries to keep it with Northwestern Lehigh, but it's cleared away by this Archbishop Bryan team. And the ball goes all the way down, all the way to the back line of Northwestern Lehigh. Glassberg had to clear it away quickly. Northwestern Lehigh moving upfield as Bear Donner passes it to her teammate in Fitch. And a foul from behind against, looks like it was Chelsea Ritter. And it's going to be another free kick for Northwestern Lehigh. As this one's going to be taken right around the 50. As it's just going to be a short pass to her teammate. But as the ball kicked upfield, Zentz with a good touch. And just didn't get a good first touch on that ball as Joyce was able to pick it up easily. But that could have been a great chance for Northwestern Lehigh to try and take a first touch, turn, and shot on goal. But now here comes Archbishop Bryan moving upfield. But they end up losing the ball after Maggie Morrow, who has done well in defense, was able to pick it up. But now as a through ball goes to Zentz, playing a physical game. She wins the ball, finds her teammate, and Bleem in the middle gets shoved off by Kylie Davis. But the ball goes all the way back to Joyce. But Zentz was providing pressure, and the defender for Archbishop Bryan ended up falling over.
And as we just hit the under 10-minute mark, here we're still tied 0-0 with Archbishop Bryan and Northwestern Lehigh here in New Tripoli, Pennsylvania.
So right now the score is tied 0-0. Here comes Archbishop Bryan with a chance. The ref says play on after the player falls down for Northwestern Lehigh, as the player and Sarah Yakel, who had to come out earlier because of a head injury, was able to come back into the game. And then her teammate almost tripped over on top of her, trying to get it back into the defensive position. But as the cross comes in, here comes a chance for Archbishop Ryan. And the ball is cleared away by this defense, but it's going to be a corner kick for Archbishop Ryan, as you had Paige Geiger, who had the ball wide open, but was a good defensive clearance by Northwestern Lehigh. As this is their first corner of the second half. This is their third corner on the game. But it's going to be taken by number 27 for Archbishop Ryan. As the corner comes in, and Glassberg is able to make the save after it takes a short hop off the ground. And that was a good corner by Archbishop Ryan, but a great job by Glassberg to pick it up.
We can see right now that both of these teams are just a pass or a touch or a mistake away from letting a goal in, and either team will be up 1-0. But right now, these goalkeepers are really keeping their teams in the game with Joyce and Glassberg, and it's a senior versus a sophomore right now, but both are being battle-tested, and both are coming up big for their teams.
Certainly, but now here comes Northwestern Lehigh, but they turn the ball over. Here comes Archbishop Ryan moving across the middle. And as the ball goes in, a player goes down for Archbishop Ryan. Ref says play on. And the physical play continues as Ritter's going to get called for the foul. As she brought down, looks like Bardonner. And it's going to be a free kick for Northwestern Lehigh as the players for Northwestern Lehigh move upfield.
Yeah, you can see the physical play is really, really getting a bit intense right now as both teams are challenging the ball, really coming in with hard tackles, and it's just that one mistake or one foul that could set up a team for a free kick or potentially a penalty.
But now is a throw in on the far sideline. We got under 8 minutes to go. Both teams are really hoping to find that first goal of the game. For those of you just joining us, I mean, so far there hasn't been any scoring action, but definitely a lot of good strategy by both sides. I mean, definitely seen offensive opportunities by Archbishop Ryan. They had a lot more opportunities in that first half. Shots being blocked by the defensive unit, sort of making a wall. But then in the second half, we had a free kick by Northwestern Lehigh that hit off the crossbar and could have gone in. But right now, it is still 0-0 as a shot is taken from just a curling over everyone and ends up going out of play, and it will be a goal kick for Archbishop Ryan.
That is, again, Sophia Maltese. She has been all over the ball for Northwestern Lehigh in the second half, and most of them have come outside of the 18-yard box.
Yes, as that last shot, I mean, definitely would try to catch Joyce off guard, but now is just a little far off of the back post. But now Archbishop Ryan with a chance, but that ball, Geiger was unable to keep it in play. It's going to be a throw-in. Bardonner tried to keep it in play, but is unable to do so. But now here comes Archbishop Ryan moving downfield as it is headed away. Archbishop Ryan doing well with the throw-ins and controlling this game. And as the ball is over the head of the Archbishop Ryan player, it goes all the way to the back line, but it's going to be a push in the back by Archbishop Ryan, number 2. And it's going to be another free kick for Northwestern Lehigh.
Dare I say we're getting close to that 5-minute mark left in the second half. Dare I say we entered that overtime period, and I just looked up the rules. Potential overtime period would be 2 15-minute periods, and it's sudden victory. So first goal wins.
So right now, as we got the one player down for Northwestern Lehigh, right near the back line. We will step aside here for an injury timeout. You are listening to Northwestern Lehigh Varsity Girls Soccer here on Penn Sports Radio.
The Northwestern Lehigh Educational Foundation is a nonprofit organization that supports the educational goals of the Northwestern Lehigh School. Since inception, the foundation has funded more than $1.3 million in innovative projects throughout the district that would not have otherwise been funded. The NWLEF relies on funding through donations from the local community and annual fundraising events. You can help by becoming a sponsor, making a tax-deductible donation, attending one of their annual events, or volunteering. There's never been a more critical time to support our schools. See what you can do to support the Northwestern Lehigh Educational Foundation. Learn more at www.nwlef.org.
With an award-winning 4.5-star daily fee course nestled in the foothills of the Blue Mountains, Old Homestead Golf Club is where history and tradition are a part of everyday life. Old Homestead Golf Club is one of the first courses in the Lehigh Valley to offer state-of-the-art GPS capabilities on their championship 18-hole course. Old Homestead's award-winning practice facility includes a driving range with 4 target greens and 3 hazards and a USGA spec putting green. Old Homestead Golf Club is located on Route 309 in New Tripoli. For more information, go to oldhomesteadgolfclub.com.
And welcome back here to Northwestern Lehigh Varsity Girls Soccer here on Penn Sports Radio. Noah Pickler alongside Emily Janey as we got 5:15 left here in the second half. Right now the score is tied at 0. Both teams are fighting for spot in the state playoff quarterfinal on the line. But as right now Northwestern Lehigh having another injury to that defense, as it looks like it was Yakel down again with an injury. She's had a rough night tonight. Second time coming out with an injury. And it looked like she was holding her head again, as certainly don't want to risk that, as it could be a concussion if it's a serious head injury. But as it's now going to be a goal kick for Northwestern Lehigh. Right now, both teams are they got about under 5 minutes to go. They've had their offensive opportunities. Both of them are more than likely thinking overtime's in the back of their minds, but you can't start thinking that too early, as right now that there could have been a handball right there by Archbishop Bryan. Ref says play on. But now here comes Geiger with the ball. Cuts inside and is cleared away by Samantha Bardonner, who's a forward but is also playing defense. But now, as the ball is cleared away, missed opportunity by Archbishop Bryan to take advantage there, as they could have ended up there was a poor clearance by Northwestern Lehigh.
We can see the fans on both sides are getting a bit rowdy, starting to yell for their players to get that first goal.
But now, as another throw-in, there's 3:30 to go. Archbishop Bryan on the near side, right near their own corner. But now it's going to be a turnover as Northwestern Lehigh get their throw-in. Now with a chance to move upfield, as looks like it was Kayla Bardonner, who plays forward in defense and is a senior, really hoping to send her team to the next round in the state playoffs. Now as Kylie Davis was hesitant on the throw-in. Now coming across the field is Chelsea Ritter. Now as the ball kicked upfield, Glassberg had to pick that one out of the air real quick, as challenging was the Archbishop player in Rebecca Dalton, who has had her opportunities tonight, but a great job by Glassberg to just pick it out of the air. But now here comes Northwestern Lehigh. Ball's thrown upfield for Zentz. She's able to get around Davis. As, again, the battle of the Kylies. Ball's kicked across field by Zentz, but is cleared away by this Archbishop Bryan defense, but will stay upfield for a throw-in. Here comes Zentz, receiving the throw-in. Passes it back to her teammate, but is cleared away eventually by Archbishop Bryan. They get it upfield as it just stays in bounds up on the near side. Just stays inside that yellow line. Now under 2 minutes to go. Still tied at 0. Both teams have been unable to find the back of the net, although they've each had their close opportunities. Northwestern was so close that they hit off the crossbar on a free kick. But now, as The ball is kicked upfield. Archbishop Bryan finally settles it, but is cleared all the way by Northwestern Lehigh.
Yeah, neither team in these last few minutes have really settled the ball, and it kind of seems like a last-ditch effort as we're about to hit the 1 minute mark left in the second half.
Right now, both teams are just, at this point, I mean, they want to try and win this game, but right now it's looking like that they might be preparing for overtime. But now as a sub is made in the final minutes, the clock will continue to roll. Under a minute to go here in the second half. Right now, as you got the varsity boys of one of the teams looking on the far sideline as they're warming up to try and stay loose in this game. But they may have to wait their turn as this game could be going a little longer as we got about 30 seconds. Davis gets shoved from behind by Zentz. But now as Archbishop Bryan, the pass goes all the way back to Davis. She tries to kick it upfield. High in the air, takes a high bounce as Dalton gets knocked down and eventually is cleared away by Cameron Fitch as we hear the PA announcer announcing the time as it looks like this game is far from over, as it looks like there's going to be a little more time, overtime here at Northwestern Lehigh High School, as we'll step aside here, but we'll get you ready for overtime. You're listening to Northwestern Lehigh Soccer Varsity Girls here on Penn Sports Radio.
Nutripoli Bank is the bank you and your family have come to know and love. That's because Nutripoli Bank treats each and every customer as an individual, encouraging them to dream big and reach for their goals. Since 1910, Nutripoli Bank has ensured the financial well-being of all their customers. When you're ready to take that first step, Nutripoli Bank will be right by your side. Nutripoli Bank has 3 locations in the Lehigh Valley, Nutripoli, Orfield, and Emmaus. As a community bank serving the Lehigh Valley for over 100 years, Nutripoli Bank knows how important it is to offer their customers the convenience of cutting-edge banking technology coupled with a local presence that only a true community bank can provide. That's why Nutripoli Bank's mobile banking app, online banking platform, and website are all designed to meet your modern banking needs. For more information, go to NutripoliBank.net. That's NutripoliBank.net.
The Northwestern Lehigh Football Booster Club takes pride in its work with the players, parents, and staff that make up this great team. Their mission is to help promote the program through fundraisers, sponsorships, and volunteer support from people like you. From pregame meals and equipment to year-ending banquets, the Booster Club helps to provide a great atmosphere for their student athletes. Their hard work doesn't stop after football is done. It's a year-round commitment to help keep Northwestern football strong.
Hi, this is Andy Toth, president of the Booster Club. I wanted to thank all of our volunteers and ask you to help where you can support our efforts. Please go to NWL Tigers Football Booster Club on Facebook to find out how you can help.
And welcome back here to coverage of Northwestern Lehigh Varsity Girls Soccer here on Penn Sports Radio, as this game is not done yet, as it is tied at 0 between Northwestern Lehigh and Archbishop Bryan. Both of these teams are looked a bit exhausted out there, but at this point, the one goal will win the game for either one of these teams. Noah Pegler alongside Emily Janey to bring you coverage. And, I mean, Emily, this game has definitely had its changes. First, it was Archbishop Bryan dominating. Then you had Northwestern Lehigh take control. Now, this one's up for grabs. I mean, it's really, like, who do you think is going to take it away here in overtime?
Honestly, that is a tough question, because for a while I thought Archbishop Bryan was going to win this game 1-0, but I think I got to go with Northwestern Lehigh here, and I think they're going to put one in the back of the net. They just seem to be connecting more, connecting their passes more, and I just see Archbishop Bryan with the tired legs, and I think that's something that we'll take into consideration in this overtime. Is, as we know, it's 2 15-minute periods, but it's sudden victory, which means first goal in wins, and if not, then we go to the all lovely penalty kicks. But let's get past these first overtimes. What about you? Who do you think is going to take this game?
looking at this game, I know Northwestern Lehigh. I mean, they looked great in that second half, but honestly, Archbishop Bryan, they looked like they had more of that momentum as that first period, as that second half was coming to an end. They really did well with finding their opportunities in the box. They could have had a close chance. They had almost gotten a shot on frame, but it was cleared out by this defense. I mean, this defense, I'll say this. I thought Northwestern Lehigh's defense would have eventually given out because, I mean, the fact is you get tested on and on and on for 80 minutes. Eventually, something has to give. But this defense, it's holding strong. A lot of credit to the coaching of this defense as they are doing a great job with keeping the ball out of that 18-yard box as they're just doing really well on defensively for Northwestern Lehigh.
I totally agree, and I think that last 10, 15 minutes or so of the second half, the goalkeepers on both sides were tested. And we'll see what goalkeeper can come up with that big save for the team, but we'll also see which team could concede a mistake. I think that's something we need to watch. And again, we'll see the physicality. I'm sure it's going to be a factor here in the first period of overtime, but I'm excited for this game to go into overtime. I feel like we expect this at a state game, round of 16. I mean, we didn't expect this game to be a blowout. It's a tight game. It's been a tight game all for the full 80 minutes or so. But, yeah, I'm going to stick with my prediction of 1-0 Northwestern Lehigh. You're Archbishop Bryan?
I'm looking at it, but we'll see because I think that it's just I think that if you're Northwestern Lehigh, if you're going to try and take this game, you got to go right away because the way they came out with that momentum in the second half, the way they were able to strike first and keep going in that second half, that was what really got them back into this game and feeling like, yeah, we could win this thing. They got to come out with that same intensity because honestly, if it comes down to just the final minutes of that overtime, if it's just carrying on, Northwestern Lehigh may make a mistake, and all it takes is just one mistake for a team like Archbishop Bryan to take advantage of those mistakes and try and take the lead. But now, as for those who are trying to tune in for the varsity boys game between Archbishop Bryan and Northwestern Lehigh, don't worry. This game will follow once the varsity girls game is done, as right now both teams, you got one team still warming up while one team is right now trying to root on their varsity girls on the other side, on the end line, outside the fence of the track. But now, as overtime is coming up, going to have, as we mentioned, 15 minutes here in the first overtime, but it is sudden death. It's not like the professional level where it's pretty much
golden goal.
It's definitely the intensity is going to kick up. And, I mean, honestly, I will say this. I mean, playoff soccer is already exciting enough by itself, but that overtime goal, it's just definitely another level of exhilaration.
Yeah, I totally agree as the Northwestern Lehigh side takes the field, and we're about to get underway in the first overtime period, but I'm excited. And reminder that whoever wins this game will go on to play the District 1 champion. So that we'll see as also another reminder, Archbishop Bryan made it to the state semifinals last year, losing. So that's something that it's probably in the back of their minds going into this overtime.
It's right now on the line, a state playoff spot in the quarterfinals. But we get overtime going as Archbishop Bryan will start with the ball. But here comes Bar Donner for Northwestern Lehigh with the ball. Zentz receives a pass, unable to bring it down as it was cleared away by this defense of Archbishop Bryan. But now going upfield, here comes Archbishop Bryan with the wide open space. It looks like it was Rebecca Dalton. But now in the middle is Paige Geiger. Now here comes Chelsea Ritter with the pass. Now it's to Dalton. Now as the cross comes across the middle, here comes Geiger. Had a chance to get a shot, but unable as the ball just rolls all the way toward the near sideline. But Archbishop Bryan stays with possession of the ball. Here comes the ball inside, and it's cleared away by Northwestern Lehigh. But eventually, the ball is finally kicked out of bounds, and Archbishop Bryan responding well after Northwestern tried to make an offensive tackle of their own.
Yeah, that was a great through ball and just a missed opportunity for Archbishop Bryan. She didn't really have anybody near her. All she had to do was put her foot on that, and that was going in the back of the net.
No, yeah, I mean, as she had the wide open shot, as they had a missed opportunity, but they're keeping the ball upfield after just the first minute of overtime play. But now will be kicked out for another throw-in. as the ball is thrown into the box. Eventually cleared out, and another push from behind by Archbishop Ryan. They've shown the physicality, but the ref has done well with calling the fouls. A few pushes from behind in the offensive end, and it's going to be a free kick for Northwestern Lehigh. And so far, even though we mentioned the physical play all night, so far no cards have been given to either side. But here comes Archbishop Ryan. Paige Geiger had a chance, but unable to maintain possession as the ball was kicked off of Geiger, and looks like some people may have not been happy with the call, but it's now going to be a goal kick for Northwestern Lehigh.
Yeah, I think some Archbishop Ryan fans there wanted a corner, but that clearly ricocheted off of Archbishop Ryan's striker.
Well, yeah, I mean, at a quick glance, you would think that it was kicked out by Northwestern Lehigh, but honestly, it was a great job by the defender to just kick it right off of Geiger. But now here comes Kylie Zentz as she tried to kick it back to her teammate, but it'll be deflected off of the defender of Archbishop Ryan. But now here's a chance for Northwestern Lehigh. A throw in as it goes over the top. But now as it's cleared away, and Geiger was able to pass it upfield, but not enough as Northwestern Lehigh tried to get it upfield. Kylie Davis receives a pass from the Northwestern Lehigh player. And now as both teams just clearing the ball back and forth as it's going to roll all the way out to the far sideline, and it will be a throw-in for Northwestern Lehigh. As now we get to see Alexa Bleem check back into the game. Got under 12 minutes to go here in overtime. Archbishop Ryan turns it over. Here comes Bleem. She gets pushed aside by the Archbishop Ryan player. And here comes a chance for Archbishop Ryan. Has Glassberg for Northwestern Lehigh. Had to come out and pick up the ball. And it will be kicked out, but Chelsea Ritter settles the ball, and it's Paige Geiger. She ends up passing it to her teammate. Now here comes Archbishop Ryan dribbling into the middle is Varillo, but the pass toward the middle is picked off by this defense of Northwestern Lehigh. As the ball moves quickly, it's going to be a throw-in for Northwestern Lehigh.
It right now is all Archbishop Ryan everywhere. They just seem to, they're only playing a 3-back right now, with Kylie Davis kind of hanging up in the right mid right there, but Archbishop Ryan wants this goal, and it's whether or not Northwestern Lehigh can counter and this defensive line can hold up.
So now here comes Archbishop Ryan. They continue their pressure upfield, but now with a shot taken by Archbishop Ryan, as that was Emily DeLucy, but that ends up going out of play after it was able to be picked up by her teammate, but it's cleared out by this defense, and here comes a corner kick for Archbishop Ryan. It's their first of this overtime and their third of this game. Or no, fourth.
Fourth of this game, third taken by Caitlin Brace, number 27. So far, she's put the ball in pretty good position for Archbishop Ryan.
Right now, Archbishop Ryan have done well at the chance here in overtime. But now another set piece will really help them here. As it comes into the box, and it'll be cleared out, as another corner will be taken again by Archbishop Ryan team. But now, as again following this game, we will have the varsity boys game between Archbishop Ryan and Northwestern Lehigh.
And now we have a switch. We just said number 27, Caitlin Brace, took that corner, but now number 7, Kylie Davis, is taking the corner.
As Davis took it earlier, as the ball comes in, and a great save by Glassberg as she got a hand on the ball, but then there was a Archbishop player who came from behind to try and get into the net, unable to get a good shot, and a great job by Glassberg to make the save.
That was a huge save right there. She had a lot of traffic in front of her, but fell right on top of that ball without letting a rebound go.
But now here comes Chelsea Ritter. Archbishop Ryan not going away, as they have done well with their offensive pressure tonight. And as they try to cross it into the box, as we are under 9 minutes to go, the score still at 0 here at overtime. but it took a deflection off of a Northwestern Lehigh player. They wanted a corner, but it's going to be a throw-in as it just went to the outside of that corner flag. So now as Northwestern Lehigh have to clear it out. Still in the middle. And a hard foul by Archbishop Ryan as it was Emily DeLucy as she was called for the foul, and it's going to be a free kick for Northwestern Lehigh.
Yeah, it seems like we still see the physical play here from both sides, but especially Archbishop Ryan. And they're on all attack mode right now with a little under 8 minutes to go here in the first overtime period. Remember, it is sudden death, so that means first goal in wins. So
now as Zentz was trying to move upfield, it will be cleared away by this defense of Archbishop Ryan, but it's now going to be a throw-in for Northwestern Lehigh. And now it's going to be cleared out, but now Northwestern Lehigh, after facing the onslaught of attack from Archbishop Ryan, they now get a chance of their own, but not some good passing game right there, as it's going to be a turnover, but it will be going back to Archbishop Ryan. Now with about 7 minutes to go here in this first overtime, Noah Pegler alongside Emily Janey, but here comes Northwestern Lehigh with a chance. Joyce with the save, as it was a close chance for Kylie Zentz. Unfortunately, she lost that battle to the goalkeeper in Joyce, but a chance right there for Northwestern to try and get something in the back of the net.
That was an excellent save there by Emma Joyce, because Kylie Zentz was on that, ready to go.
But now as the ball is taking a deflection, here comes Archbishop Ryan with a chance, and they decide to kick it back out, trying to find the open space. And now in the middle, Dalton passes it to her teammate, and DeLucy, as DeLucy may have gotten hit in the face. And a missed chance right there as Geiger was unable to get to the ball first on that through ball. But now as it will be picked up by Glassberg.
Little miscommunication there in Archbishop Ryan's attack, as I believe it was number 19, Carrie Gotts, coming back when Emily DeLucy was standing right there facing goal, ready to hit that ball right about the 20-yard line.
So now it will be a throw-in for Northwestern Lehigh as both sides make substitutions. Right now, under 6 minutes to go. The overtime really taking a toll on both of these teams. The winner of this game goes to the quarterfinal matchup on Saturday against the Division I champion. But now, as you have Northwestern Lehigh taking the ball away, but now it goes back to Archbishop Ryan. But now moving upfield is looks like Modalese for Northwestern Lehigh. But now here comes Archbishop Ryan. Geiger passes it back to her teammate. Now back to Geiger. But now a throw in by Archbishop Ryan. Now as it stays in play, this defense providing the great pressure. But now as Bleem tries to kick it up to Zentz, she's got space. Unfortunately, she doesn't have the speed to catch up to the ball as she was beaten to it, but a mistake, and the ball goes in and saved by the teammate as Joyce had to come out of the box. A missed chance by Northwestern Lehigh. The defensive player in the middle tracking back as her goalie was out of the box and was able to make the save against Zentz, and it keeps Archbishop Ryan in this game.
I believe that was number 29, Sam Pastino. If I have to get that number, that just saved this game for Archbishop Ryan, because Emma Joyce was beat clearly on that pass.
But now Archbishop Ryan trying to return on offense. They do well by getting downfield, but they keep it downfield as the ball comes into the box and easily saved by Glassberg. Now under 4 minutes to go. Both offenses getting chance both getting a chance, and that one goal still out of reach for both teams, but another opportunity for Northwestern Lehigh that came so close, but now it still felt so far. But here comes Zentz with another chance. She's got her teammate in the middle. Turning around is Bleem. Now over the top. Zentz was unable to get to it. Cleared out by this defense of Archbishop Ryan. But the ball's cleared out, and it's now going to be a throw-in for Northwestern Lehigh. But now is a throw-in. A mistake right there by Archbishop Ryan. Here comes Bleem. Crosses it toward the middle. And having to clear quickly is Archbishop Ryan. And we're starting to see a lot of mistakes out of that, out of the left defensive back for Archbishop Ryan.
Yeah, just a bit of a sloppy play right there for Archbishop Ryan.
But now is a foul right outside the box. I mean, it's at least 20 yards out, but a free kick opportunity for Northwestern Lehigh.
Joyce needs to be ready because this is number 9, Sophia Maltese, over the ball. And as we remember in the beginning of that second half, she hit the crossbar from 30 yards out.
As that was one of the best opportunities of the game so far. But now, as we got a free kick, Modalise takes a shot, and this one just over the crossbar, as that one ends up going out of the back, and it will be a goal kick for Archbishop Ryan. Now with only 2 minutes to go, as we will have another overtime period if nobody scores in this first overtime. But now here comes Archbishop Ryan going upfield. And here comes Archbishop Ryan. They go upfield, past midfield. And the ball just rolls all the way toward Glassberg.
And there was really nobody up there in the offensive third for Archbishop Ryan. They seem to be all defense right now, and I don't know if they're just playing to get into this second overtime, but they've definitely stifled their attack. They came out ready to go and just seemed to have lost some speed here in the first period of overtime.
Right now, again, following this game, we have the varsity boys soccer between Archbishop Ryan and Northwestern Lehigh. But now as a shot is taken, and a great defensive effort by this Northwestern Lehigh team as blocked by Catherine Edgar. But now as Geiger loses possession of the ball gets kicked out. And Archbishop Ryan not going away as the shot, or as the ball is, there's a cross right there, but it was kicked out. Now it's going to be a throw-in for Archbishop Ryan.
We have about 40 seconds to go here in the first overtime. It is still 0-0 here between varsity girls soccer, round of 16.
But now there's a chance by Archbishop Ryan, as that was the Archbishop Ryan with a chance, but they ended up missing it. It looked like it was Varello with the chance, but just a great job by Glassberg as she continues her dominance in the box. But yes, as we got 10 seconds to go here in this first overtime, but here comes the last effort by Northern Lehigh. Odalise dribbling upfield. Zentz will try and take a shot from distance, and did nothing there, but that's going to be the end of the first overtime. Both of these teams showing their offensive talents, as we will have another overtime as both teams couldn't find anything. As we will take a quick commercial break, but we will be right back with the second overtime. You are listening to Northwestern Lehigh Varsity Girls Soccer here on Penn Sports Radio.
Let HTSS help you get the job that'll get you going in the right direction. HTSS at Emmaus is your staffing solution, and right now they're hiring for customer service call center reps, IT, engineers, and data entry, as well as sales and marketing, administrative office staff, accounting, financing, logistics, and distribution. Get started down the path to employment with HTSS. To set up an appointment, call 610-432-4161 or apply online at htss-inc.com. That's htss-inc.com.
The Northwestern Lehigh Educational Foundation is a nonprofit organization that supports the educational goals of the Northwestern Lehigh School. Since inception, the foundation has funded more than $1.3 million in innovative projects throughout the district that would not have otherwise been funded. The NWLEF relies on funding through donations from the local community and annual fundraising events. You can help by becoming a sponsor, making a tax-deductible donation, attending one of their annual events, or volunteering. There's never been a more critical time to support our schools. See what you can do to support the Northwestern Lehigh Educational Foundation. Learn more at www.nwlef.org.
And welcome back here to coverage of Northwestern Lehigh varsity girls soccer here on Penn Sports Radio. Noah Peckler alongside Emily Janey bringing you to this game as we still are tied at 0. Both teams have had offensive opportunities to try and put something in the back of the net, but both have come short, whether it's a great defensive effort by the goalkeepers or even by the defense. They've done a great job. And looking at this overtime, Emily, I mean, both of these teams just look like they're stacking the defense.
Yeah, we watched for the first 2 halves. We watched Archbishop Ryan in the first half be all attack, and then Northwestern Lehigh in the second half be all attack. But it just seemed like in the first period of overtime, Archbishop Ryan had a bit of attack there in the beginning of the overtime, and then we had that wonderful attack by Northwestern Lehigh with that amazing stop by Sam Pistano. But after that, it's been all defense, all goalkeeping, and really no attack.
That last opportunity, as Zentz, she was able to get past the goalkeeper and Emma Joyce, and because of that, I mean, the ball was just so close to rolling into the back of the net, but then you mentioned the defensive player of Archbishop Ryan was able to just clear it out. I mean, that's the one thing about this defense is that they've been doing a great job. They got their goalkeepers back in this game, and they've done well, but now Northwestern Lehigh, I mean, right now they're surprising people. I mean, the fact is that, I mean, that first half was struggling, but then they just picked it up and kicked it up another notch into that first overtime, and they just came so close. But now it's just like, can Northwestern Lehigh keep up that momentum into this game, into this final overtime period?
Yeah, and as a reminder, we are entering our second overtime. We've played about 80 minutes of regular soccer, plus another 15 of overtime soccer, heading into our next 15. That's a lot of soccer.
No, yeah, especially. But then, I mean, the extra time, the overtime rules. And then for those who are tuning in for the varsity boys soccer game, that will follow the coverage of this game whenever this one finally ends. As right now we are about to head into another 15 minutes of overtime. Archbishop Ryan doing well. As looking at this game for Archbishop Ryan, they have just been that offensive momentum, like I really thought that they could have pulled it away into that final into those first few minutes, but then it's just at Northwestern they decided to finally calm it down, and they finally took control of that later part of the first overtime.
Exactly, and as a reminder, this is a sudden death, not golden goal rule here, which means that first goal in wins the game for either team, so it'll be a 1-0 result. As Noah and I were talking right before the overtime period started, I was pushing for Northwestern Lehigh. I just thought they were on the attack towards the end of that second half. But then in the first period of overtime, I thought they lacked a little bit of offense, and it was all Archbishop Ryan. But I'm still going to go with Northwestern Lehigh getting that counterattack goal.
No, yeah, I really think that they're doing well with their offense. But now they start with the ball as we start the second overtime, as Bar Donner gets a pass, but here comes a turnover. Archbishop Ryan. And here comes the pass as Archbishop Ryan working with it in the middle. Ritter passes it to her teammate with an open chance. The ball gets kicked all the way out to just outside the flag, and it's going to be a throw-in for Northwestern Lehigh. So some momentum right there as Archbishop Ryan were able to steal the ball away quickly.
Yes, and it seems like Archbishop Ryan wants that goal. I think in their mind, they've played long enough, and they're ready to get that goal and move on to the quarterfinals.
As you got to remember, Archbishop Ryan made it to the semifinals just last year in a great run where they had a lot of star talent on their team, from MVPs to players that have made the all second team and third team. But now as this throw-in goes all the way out past the back line, it will be a goal kick for Glassberg, who's made a great save in that first overtime as there was an open chance for Archbishop Ryan, but Glassberg was just in the right spot to make that save.
And as we've been saying all night, the boys' game is going to follow this, but we have a pretty good crowd on hand right now. Archbishop Ryan and Northwestern Lehigh fans, they're all bundled up out there, Noah, in jackets and blankets, and we're in the press box here. Ooh.
But here comes Zentz with a chance. The ball just dribbles in and is outside the post. There was nobody into the back of the net, and it got past Emma Joyce. Kylie Zentz just couldn't get that on frame, but it looks like it took a deflection, and it will be a corner kick for Northwestern Lehigh.
Wow. Zentz has been after it all game. She's been sitting on that back line, pressuring the back line, and I wouldn't mind seeing if Zentz, wins this for Northwestern Lehigh, as she's just been aggressive, but corner is about to be taken.
But here comes Northwestern Lehigh to corner. Zentz with the header, and it just goes not on frame and just wide of the net. And now it will be a goal kick for Archbishop Ryan. We got under 13 minutes to go here on Penn Sports Radio. Now as the goal kick is taken out of the back, and here comes this offense as it passes upfield to Geiger. She breaks free, takes a shot, and Glassberg makes the save out of air as Paige Geiger, who's done well on offense for this Archbishop Ryan team, just couldn't get anything past Glassberg once again. But here comes Zentz. She's got room. The ball's just out of her reach, but she's able to keep it in play. And as the ball goes all the way, as she tried to dribble back inside, she couldn't find anyone. But it's going to be cleared out and a throw-in for Northwestern Lehigh.
The last two attacks by Northwestern Lehigh have come through Zentz, but one thing I will point out is that Emma Joyce has been off her line a bunch in these last few attacks by Northwestern Lehigh, and she's been a bit out of position on the last two plays.
Certainly, as the last few mistakes could have been goals for Zentz. Both were very, very close. She was bailed out by her defender teammate on one, but then she was bailed out on the fact that Zentz wasn't able to get it on frame. But now, as the one pass tried to go upfield, it was just out of reach for Archbishop Ryan, and now it will be a throw-in for Northwestern Lehigh, but now has cleared out once again. Throw-in for Northwestern Lehigh.
I feel as though there's an old saying in soccer that you just wish the goal could move, right? On that last attempt by Zentz, wide open net, and she just missed it wide. And I don't know if that deflection saved it or not, but I believe that deflection came from Grace Joyce, the goalkeeper's sister, Emma Joyce. So that's a big deflection and big save there.
Certainly, has both times you mentioned Joyce has come off her line. But now, Northwestern Lehigh with the ball. They try to go upfield. But now, here comes Bodalise. She was able to settle it, but now as the pass goes upfield, they try to find Zentz, but now it's cleared out of the back. And here comes Archbishop Ryan, a through ball with open space, with a shot, and just wide of the net as it just is out of reach and just goes past the net for Kirsten Montag, and it's going to be a goal kick for Northwestern Lehigh.
Montag has been all over the Northwestern Lehigh back line there. We've said her name a couple times tonight, but we haven't said it in a while, but that was a good opportunity there by Archbishop Ryan, but just a missed touch by Montag.
She had the open space and just really did not get the shot on frame. Give her credit for trying to go around Glassberg, but once again, just not able to try and get the ball past Glassberg. But now, here comes Northwestern Lehigh as Modalise gets the ball right through the legs of Archbishop Ryan player, kicks it upfield. Bleem gets beat to the ball first, but she's not going away. She cuts inside, gets brought down, and it looks like that they may call a foul here. But actually, no, they won't call a foul. They'll just call a goal kick. But a trip right outside the box.
Yeah, and that we'll watch and see what Archbishop Ryan's defense seems to be. They seem to be tiring out there. They've been tested all game, but in the last few minutes, last few attempts, Northwestern Lehigh and Zentz has really been on that back line pressing them.
But now here comes Archbishop Ryan. It's cleared out. Zentz was able to get to the ball first, but the ball will roll all the way back to the back line, and it will be a goal kick, as right now we got under 9 minutes to go. Score still tied at 0. Well, at first it was a goal kick, but now it's a corner for Archbishop Ryan.
Kylie Davis is back to take the corner. This will be her 3rd corner of the night. And remember, the last corner she put, Glassberg came up with a huge save. So we'll see if this could be the opportunity here for Archbishop Ryan.
So now here comes Davis with the corner kick. Ball will curl out a bit. Glassberg makes the save. Shot goes in net, and it goes into the back of the net, as that will be the game. Or actually, no. A lot of people thought it was the game, but no. Looks like they called offsides. And we'll continue play here at Northwestern Lehigh High School as the goal is taken away from Archbishop Ryan.
I did not see the offsides, but that is the call. And that will be a huge call because that ball was in the back of the net by, I believe that was DeLucy, number 13, but that'll be a huge play, because if this stays scoreless here with a little under 8 minutes to go, we head into the all-dreaded penalty kicks.
Certainly, as that was one goal that finally got into the back of the net, but offsides, taking it away from Archbishop Ryan. But now here comes Northwestern Lehigh, as Archbishop Ryan had to clear it away. But now we got some substitutions on the far sideline. Got under 8 minutes to go. For those of you just joining us, it has been a busy game, as it wasn't an offsides on that last goal, missed opportunity. We've, so far in this game, have had a ball go off the crossbar, a defender making an excellent save, and an offsides taking away a goal, as that ball just curling in is saved by Joyce, and that's going to be another chance that just missed by Northwestern Lehigh. But now Northwestern Lehigh go upfield, but is eventually settled by this defense of by Archbishop Ryan. Now here's a chance, and Glassberg's able to just pick it up. But now again, under 7 minutes, as in this second overtime period, both teams have had their chances. And just at this point, it's just a matter of who's going to have more luck in this chance, because they can't get anything into the back of the net. But now here's a free kick by Archbishop Ryan.
Yeah, it just seems that both teams are just giving everything they have to get this goal. Both teams seem to be in a high press right now, and it's just who can put that ball in the back of the net.
So it's going to be now the ball will just roll all the way to Glassberg. Under 6 minutes to go. Score still tied at 0 in this second overtime period. Now the ball, both sides just trying to get it upfield. And the throw in taken by Northwestern Lehigh. Winner of this game goes on to the quarterfinal in the state playoffs. But as the ball is cleared upfield by this defense of Northwestern Lehigh, here comes Bleem. She tries to get it up to her teammate in Zentz. Zentz finally receives the pass. Doesn't get a good touch on that, and she ends up turning it over, and is easily picked up by this defense in Archbishop Ryan. But now with a chance, Zentz gets the ball back. But again, she's had a tough night working from both sides on the defense.
Zentz is all over that back line, whether it's Davis or the left wing or the left back, right back, center back. Zentz is pressuring that back line.
But now, as we continue in this second overtime, now under 5 minutes to go, it will be a free kick for Archbishop Ryan. So far, both defenses, have been playing a huge role in keeping this game at 0. But now, here comes Northwestern Lehigh. Out the middle, Zentz with the space, with the shot, and over the net as she had it. The great power on that shot just right over the net. And that's going to be actually, it looks like it may have taken a deflection. And I guess they're saying a deflection, and it's going to be, I guess, a corner.
Interesting. I didn't see a deflection there, but another missed opportunity there by Zentz. I feel like she's right there ready to score for Northwestern Lehigh.
Now Modalese will take the corner kick. Ball comes in and easily picked out of the air by Emma Joyce. But now under 4 minutes to go, Northwestern Lehigh continue to find their chances, but unfortunately unable to capitalize. But now here comes Archbishop Ryan. Upfield is Geiger. Loses the ball, but is easily picked up by her teammate and Kylie Davis. Davis kicks it over everything. Geiger trying to get to the ball, doesn't get to it first. And a shot that was trying to be taken by Archbishop Ryan doesn't go anywhere. But now it's finally cleared out by Northwestern Lehigh. And it's going to be a throw in for Archbishop Ryan. Now down to 3 minutes. Still tied at 0. For those of you still looking for the varsity boys game between Northwestern Lehigh and Archbishop Ryan, that game will follow as soon as this game is wrapped up, as at some point we will get to the varsity boys game. But for now, we still have the varsity girls playing in their state playoff game. As more subs are made, we now have under 2:30 to go. Northwestern Lehigh, but the throw. Now as another throw in goes upfield. Bleem can't get to settle the ball. Now as it's cleared away by Archbishop Ryan. As the intensity picks up here, and there's going to be a foul against Archbishop Ryan, and it's going to be a free kick for Northwestern Lehigh.
We just have a little under 2 minutes to go here in the second overtime, and if this remains scoreless here during this game, I think, Noah, we're headed to penalty kicks. Penalty
kicks indeed, as, some people enjoy penalty kicks and some people just dread them, as, can be a heartbreaking way to lose. But so far, we got 1:30 to go. Glassberg kicks it upfield, but here comes Archbishop Ryan. As the ball goes all the way past Geiger, as her teammate in Varillo was unable to set her up. Actually, it looks like it was Montag who tried to set her up. But now, as they try to make the throw in, it will be brought back as they'll have to retake the throw in. The clock continues to roll. Just 1 minute left in this second overtime. But now here comes Archbishop Ryan. They try to get a chance, but it's cleared out by Northwestern Lehigh. Zentz trying to catch up to a pass that was downfield, but Kylie Davis is able to get to it first. Kylie Davis will just throw it back in. Both of these teams have got to be exhausted at this point, but definitely not letting down any intensity.
No, that's for sure. You can see this game is going to be physical until that last possible second.
But now as the Northwestern Lehigh try to get something going, it's just easily picked up by Joyce. And the ball is headed down by Northwestern Lehigh. And both teams just working with the ball in the middle. Everyone's just trying to keep it out of their defensive end.
8, 7,
and here comes the last chance by Archbishop Ryan. Inside with a cross. Up in the air. Glassberg is able to pick it up. Overtime is not enough for these teams. We got penalties, folks, as it just won't go away, as both teams just can't find the net right now. They just haven't been able to get a chance. Archbishop Ryan so close, an a foul took it away. But looks like we are heading to penalties, Emily.
Yes, we are, and I have not seen either one of these teams before tonight, and so I'm not sure the history of penalty kicks on either side, but both of these teams have to be exhausted. You play 80 minutes of regular soccer, plus another 30 minutes of overtime, and now you have the pressure of penalty kicks. I mean, as a fan, penalty kicks stress me out, so I can only imagine, as a player, penalty kicks, they probably give them a little anxiety. But something to point out here, we have a senior goalkeeper, Emma Joyce, for Archbishop Ryan, and then we have a sophomore goalkeeper in Northwestern Lehigh with
Oh yes, and you're talking about what's her name, Glassberg.
yes, that's who I'm talking about, and they both come up with some pretty big saves here tonight, so we will see which team can put the ball in the back of the net. And remember, you get 5 shots, and then after that, it goes into, I believe it's sudden death.
At that point, yeah, depending on whoever goes first, the other team has to respond. But right now, as both teams for the varsity boys, they're trying to stay warmed up as they've had to wait a long time. They've
Yeah.
Honestly, the boys' game was supposed to start about a half hour ago, but right now they continue to wait as the girls' game continues on. Right now, as for those of you just joining us, during this game, we saw great momentum out of Archbishop Ryan starting out early, but then Northwestern Lehigh, they settled in. They did a great job with the offensive opportunities, and it's just so many chances that have been taken away from them, just slight deflections and a crossbar free kick that are the reason why Northwestern hasn't been able to put a goal in the back of the net.
Yeah, I feel like on both sides, though, this game should have went into overtime at like a 2-2 or a 1-1 tie. But, as a head coach, what's going through your head right now? You don't see penalty kicks often. Do you practice them leading up to this game? What do you expect, and what do you think as a head coach is going through their minds right now?
Well, at this point, you really got to – it's a good thing that at this level you could still rotate players in and out, which helps with the substitutions and helps that you keep your best players in the game. Now, honestly, I think the slight edge goes to Northwestern Lehigh. I think Glassberg is the better goalkeeper. As we started to see Joyce, she made a few mistakes. You said she was coming off her line, and if it wasn't for her defense, her defensive teammates bailing her out on those slight deflections and stepping out in front of the net, honestly, this game could have been over by now. But I think that, at this point, it's still anyone's game in the penalties, but now it just becomes more stressful as it just adds on to the pressure of this game.
I totally agree with you on that. I am going to give the slight edge to Glassberg, but I also am not going to forget that Joyce is a senior. She's been here before. This is a big moment for her. This could potentially be her last game, along with Emma Joyce and Emily DeLuzzi. And you got to bet, looking at the Northwestern Lehigh side, that Kylie Zentz should be taking a PK, and I feel like she's going to put one in the back of the net because she had those couple opportunities there in the second overtime, so I feel like she's itching to get that goal.
Well, one thing she said she's got to try and work on, make sure you get your head over the ball, because that last chance, honestly, she would have gotten that goal if she just been more on target, because honestly, that had the momentum and had the power, and it was really good. So we will step aside for a quick commercial timeout, but after that, we should have penalties for you. You are listening to Northwestern Varsity Girls Soccer here on Penn Sports Radio.
With an award-winning 4.5-star daily fee course nestled in the foothills of the Blue Mountains, Old Homestead Golf Club is where history and tradition are a part of everyday life. Old Homestead Golf Club is one of the first courses in the Lehigh Valley to offer state-of-the-art GPS capabilities on their championship 18-hole course. Old Homestead's award-winning practice facility includes a driving range with 4 target greens and 3 hazards and a USGA spec putting green. Old Homestead Golf Club is located on Route 309 in New Tripoli. For more information, go to oldhomesteadgolfclub.com.
DJI Insurance is an independent agency with over 50 years combined industry experience, and our clients are our top priority. Because we work with multiple insurance carriers, it allows us to provide options for coverages and competitive pricing. We take pride in serving our policyholders and will customize a policy that suits your specific needs. consider DJI Insurance Agency, your insurance compass, and let us assist you in navigating life's insurance needs.
And welcome back here to coverage of Northwestern Lehigh varsity girls soccer here on Penn Sports Radio. Noah Pegler alongside Emily Janey to bring you, at this point, penalties, as both teams have been exhausted playing the long minutes of full time and 2 overtimes, both having offensive chances and just being denied by just somebody stepping up their game in those final moments. But now, as both teams head to midfield, as there's a lot of pressure on both sides, got the seniors on both teams, knowing that this could be their final game for Archbishop Bryan and for the Northwestern Lehigh. But now, as goalkeepers will head out, got Northwestern Lehigh. They got their 5 first penalty kickers on the 40. As again, both teams, we got Archbishop Bryan with the rest of their team standing at the 50, and Northwestern Lehigh with their team standing right around the 45. But right now, penalties are coming up, but it looks like it will be Northwestern Lehigh to take the first penalty kick. Once again, with these penalty kicks, you got 5 taken by each team.
Just trying to see who the 5 for each team are, but it's kind of hard to tell. It looks like Northwestern Lehigh is taking that first kick with Joyce setting up in goal.
So right now, we'll see how the momentum goes, as got Bailey Scheifler, who will be, looks like she'll be the first one to take the penalty kick. As right now, the defensive player, who's the senior, looks like she was heading up, but now we're waiting for the ref to say that they're ready. As, again, a lot of pressure. I mean, one kick can end up costing you in penalties, as it can be heartbreaking.
Exactly, and I always look to the goalkeepers here, because a lot of people think it's one kick, but I always say one save could make the difference.
Certainly, as a lot of people focus on the offensive player for penalties, but it looks like it will be Scheifler to take the penalty kick for Northwestern Lehigh. As she will stand over the ball in midfield, back up a few yards. Joyce is hoping to try and make a save here on the penalty. Ref blows a whistle. And Scheifler is able to kick it into the back of the net, not making Joyce move, but now it's a 1-0 lead on penalties for Northwestern Lehigh.
And now walking up for Archbishop Ryan, looks like number 8, Kristen Montag. We've said her name a bunch. Number 5, that would be, one second, number 5, Chelsea Ritter. We've also said her name a bunch. She lines up for the kick.
And that one goes wide of the net, over the crossbar. She did well with handling the ball, just possessing it and dribbling, but this one goes wide of the net, and now the advantage is with Northwestern Lehigh. Just a missed chance right there, as it just went right at the crossbar. I mean, she had the right idea, just didn't get the head on it.
Yeah, she made Glassberg guess wrong, but just, again, didn't have her head over the ball.
And it looks like it will be Bardonner. As it looks like it'll be Kayla Bardonner with the penalty. And that one goes into the back of the net. To the left, as easily. Now it's a 2-0 lead on Northwestern Lehigh. And now it will be up for Archbishop Ryan to try and respond.
Yeah, that was a really nice penalty kick there by Northwestern Lehigh.
And it looks like it's Montag now to take this penalty kick. And that one lands for Archbishop Ryan. They do a great job with landing that one to keep him alive in this penalty kicks. But now Northwestern Lehigh can try and extend the lead. But they lead in this one 2-1 on penalties.
That was a statement by Montag. She knew where that ball was going. She had speed and placement, and the side netting right there was excellent. But now let's see if Joyce can come up with a big save here for her Archbishop Ryan team.
Northwestern Lehigh lead 2-1 on penalties. The penalty is taken, and not messing around is Alexa Bleem. She just gets it over the net. It was the right guess by Joyce, but it just stays on frame.
And now walking up to the penalty spot here for Archbishop Ryan is junior number 15, Paige Geiger.
Geiger has had many offensive opportunities. But now it's a 3-1 lead by Northwestern Lehigh. Geiger's able to just catch Glassberg, as Glassberg just couldn't make a read on that one. So now it's at 3-2, Northwestern Lehigh still leading.
This right now is a big save for Emma Joyce. She needs to come up for this one to, I believe, keep her team in the PKs.
Well, I mean, if you make this one, and then if Archbishop misses the next one, the game's over, if Northwestern makes this one. But now with a chance, Northwestern Lehigh. And the penalty kick is good and into the back of the net. Kylie Zentz finally gets the goal. Has been a frustrating night for her, but now with a 4-2 lead, a lot of pressure on the goalkeeper in Glassberg.
This is number 2, Rebecca Dalton, lining up for the penalty kick for Archbishop Ryan. She must make this to keep her team.
So Dalton is able to drill that into the back of the net, but now as it keeps it alive for Archbishop Ryan. But now here comes the 5th penalty taker for Northwestern Lehigh. So far they've been perfect in these penalty kicks, but it all depends on this next one.
I believe if Northwestern Lehigh puts this in the back of the net, game's over. They win. So big stop here for Emma Joyce for Archbishop Ryan.
So it looks like it's Modalese with the penalty kick and kicks it into the back of the net. Northwestern Lehigh win on penalties. It is finally over. The varsity girls, Northwestern Lehigh, win this game 5-3 on penalties.
Wow. This was some excellent soccer, I can tell you that, and some heartbreaking loss for the seniors of Emily DeLucy, Emma Joyce, and Grace Joyce, but just an excellent 90-plus minutes of soccer here.